Hey everyone,
Hi.
another episode of
Hi.
Reels and Heels. You know what? Let's hop into that awesome intro. Hey, I can just rock out to that all day long. Every time we talk about Ryan on the show, you can see Ryan in the background. He's like,
Yep.
Like our own personal wrestling intro music.
yeah, exactly. So we're on episode 39. This is the first episode of 2021. Finally out of 2020.
We are now officially older than me.
Can we just be happy that 2020 is behind us now?
Yes.
Yes.
Because hindsight is 2020, but 2020 is hindsight now.
So today we're going to be talking about some of the new movies and TV shows that are either brand new or returning this year. And we're also starting Kickstarter Talk with Heather. And so, Heather, how you been?
I am good. Been busy. It's been even a busy day today. It wasn't supposed to be. I'm happy that we're in 2021, though. It's a good thing.
How was Christmas and New Year's for you?
It was nice. Christmas was very quiet. I didn't have my son for Christmas Eve. I got him back on Christmas Day. And my mom, my son, and I watched movies and ate snacks and hung out. And it was so nice. And New Year's Eve was quiet. I spent time with a friend, and that's about it. The new world of, virtual and distance learning and picking one friend to hang out with. So, but it's been quiet. How about yours?
Well, ours was great. I mean,
it's great, but ours is always quiet because we don't have any family down here. So there's no place to fight with the kid, fight with taking the kids, and which is good because now they're all quarantined and they're like, we have to put pants on.
Yeah.
The best thing about this year, this Christmas, didn't have to deal with any stupid family members that you get into arguments with.
Oh yeah.
I haven't thought about it. I just don't talk to them anymore. It makes it easy.
So our good friend Carl has joined us, and he's saying, "Good morning, good morning, Carl. How you doing?"
Hi, Carl.
Did anybody catch the green room yesterday?
Yes,
I did. I was on a good chunk of it.
Yeah,
I was falling asleep watching Discovery Plus. I'm terrible.
So speaking of Discovery Plus is the new streaming service on the block here, and you want to go ahead and talk about it a little bit?
Well, Discovery Plus carries all of the channels that are Discovery-based channels. So it's Animal Planet and Travel Channel and ID
Food Network.
So it carries all of those channels, and it has premium content as well. So things that you can only see on
Discovery Plus,
as opposed to any of the streaming apps that you can download on Roku for any of their channels. So we've only dove into parts of it, but they have a really great way of organizing it because it's by genre or by don't give them those.
Yeah, so all the paranormal stuff is together, all the food stuff is together,
all the true crime is all nice. It's all by. So if there's something that you enjoy watching, they have their typical what's trending, what's whatever, but then they have it by the genre that you want to watch. So I spend a lot of time sitting in true crime and paranormal. So, I mean, like I was sitting in paranormal last night. And, I was trying not to fall asleep, but
and it also, I mean, we get it free because we have Verizon, but it's actually pretty cheap. There's 2 tiers. There's a $4.99 tier, which it's limited ads, and then there's a $6.99 tier where it's no ads.
That's not bad at all.
It's under $10, and I think it's actually going to be one of the streaming services that survive. I mean, it's a counterpart to what Netflix and Disney and all that is doing.
I think what it has to do, though, is it does have to have more premium content. I think that if you can just stream it on your cable provider or whatever provider you have.
This is my problem.
The stuff I watch on the internet is all like real life stuff. So when I need a break from any of that, I spend time watching TV, which I watch entirely too much of that too, which I clearly don't sleep enough.
Does anybody?
TV is more fun.
Yeah,
I find like a lot of our podcasts that we have going, like not just with the Hanging with Web show. There's the, Carl has his show, Brian K. Morris. I'm finding like, and I've even started following Ted Davies and his podcast. Like, I'm busy listening to so much and watching so much that it's just, that's my new addiction.
It depends on what it is about too. Like, I don't think I subscribe entirely to an entire podcast just to listen to what they might talk about. I'm paying attention to like specific episodes of whatever because.
Yeah, I mean, what's the podcast? It's Armchair Quarterback, or no,
Armchair Expert.
Armchair Expert, yeah.
That's Dax Shepard, and then Michael Rosenbaum has Inside of You.
Yeah,
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of whoever. Inside of
it's funny because at the end of sometimes he does it at the beginning and then sometimes at the end.
Thank you for letting me be inside of you.
Yeah, it's really funny. But
it's super cheeky, like he really.
I used to listen to that religiously, like almost every day. I'd be trying to catch up on all the shows that I missed. Even Anna Faris, her show, I'd listen to, but it's just, now it's like I stopped listening for like 6 months.
But then you'll never catch up. That's the whole thing.
Oh, no.
And for me, like I know I'm in the car, and that's when I should be listening to it. But I also need to remember where I'm going, and if I'm listening to something. Like if I'm just listening to the radio, that's one thing. But if I'm actually listening to a podcast, I get lost. Like I have missed my turn. Like I can't listen to a podcast in the car. Just like I can't listen to an audiobook in the car. Because I missed my turn and I'm like, where the fuck am I?
I'm just curious now. I could just see you driving in the car and listening to like 50 Shades of Grey audiobook. That would be interesting.
No. I didn't read the book anyways. I had to pull over. Never mind.
I could see you like listening to it and then getting mad at it and going, no, that's not accurate at all.
Exactly.
There are so many things that are not accurate. This is why nobody watches porn with me either. They're like, nobody does that.
Yeah, that's not realistic.
Where's the reality
off?
Where's the reality porn where the guy, where you're like yelling at the guy to get off your hair?
You're kneeling on my hair. Get off. Yeah.
Like,
they cut that out.
So let's hop into the TV shows, and then we'll break it up, and we'll get into Kickstarter talk.
I feel like we probably should have like maybe.
Yeah. So
just went right into the topic of the day instead of that little.
Yeah. Well, now we got people who are like sharing, like they're talking about porn, so we're gonna see like more people coming.
Like
That's the after show.
wrong kinds of TV shows.
I am the reason why we will never be picked up for public television.
Oh, Willow, I haven't started
No,
talking
not
too much yet.
you. It's usually me.
You're a lot more innocent than the rest of us, I think.
I love that.
Sometimes I can mind my P's and Q's. I get that from teaching all day. But then there are other times when I'm like, oops.
I have no filter. It's gone. And my friends and family have learned, do not ask me questions you don't want to know the answer to, because I will answer in graphic detail their question, and they don't like that very much. Don't ask.
I can't imagine Carl with a short beard. I'm sorry, that wizard beard is gonna be stuck with you forever, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny because every time Brian gets a little out of control, I'm like, "Are you trying out for ZZ Top? Like, what's going on?"
So last year we got a new streaming service that people thought maybe wasn't going to work, and that was Apple TV Plus. And there was a few shows that actually were pretty good. The morning show, which won last year a lot of Emmys. And then there was a show called Dickinson, which we watched the first season, and it's with Haley Steinfeld. And it's actually returning for a second season this year. It's one. You're into literature and stuff. Was she one of your favorites?
So I was more a fan of her life than her poetry. As bad as that sounds, it was just, she was one of those characters in literature that she wrote and didn't get nearly as famous until posthumously than she probably should have been. And like, I'm not saying that I'm not a fan of her poetry. I'm just saying that her life was so much more interesting than her poetry was. And it kind of like touches, I mean, it's kind of fictional. I mean, it really is. It's kind of glorified, but I just find it kind of refreshing because it takes a turn on that old time, like into that time of our history where, Dickinson was a girl and she wanted to be a writer and she wasn't allowed to, and her father couldn't understand why. And it just was one of those things where it kind of played on her being this young girl and trying to be kind of rebellious. And I thought that was just it was a fun show. And it was Haley Steinfeld, which kind of, I think, breathes life into the character.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable because it was funny and there was humor in it, but it was kind of, I don't want to say super modernized, but it was a little bit modernized. I mean, but it was a fun show. Like
the set pieces, the clothing.
Yeah. And the costuming was amazing. It was so cool. But it was fun because you saw her as this like wild child girl who wanted to rebel against everything. And in a way she did. I mean, she fell in love with her best friend and he was married to, I don't know.
Well, she was stuck in between.
I can't remember.
It touches. I
can't remember how it was.
It touches on her sexuality as well.
Yeah. She was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like I said, it was one of the shows that kind of came out of nowhere on Apple TV Plus, and because they don't really have a lot of shows.
The other one was the one with Chris Evans that people got rave reviews on, and I think that
Defending Jacob.
So I think that those were kind of the show types of shows that were holding on to viewers.
Yeah,
that they were super excited about those shows, and that's why they subscribed.
Okay. Yeah, I know Apple also has the rights to that new Tom Hanks movie that came out last year, Greyhound.
Yeah, the World War II about the submarines and stuff. Yeah, I didn't watch it yet, but I've heard the movie was decent.
Mm-hmm.
That's a you thing. I won't be watching that.
Yeah, we've established the war stuff. I mean,
It's just not my thing.
except for Midway, like that movie.
I liked Midway, but Nick Jonas was in it, so
Well,
I mean-
it's, with Tom Hanks, you can't go wrong with Tom Hanks. Instant gold. I'm pretty
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that anything he does, it turns into instant gold.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, speaking of instant gold,
I don't think there was anything I didn't like.
Tina Fey has established.
Speaking of instant gold, not everything is instant gold with her.
Well, I think she's a fabulous writer, more so than an actress. She has a new show coming to NBC starring Ted Danson called Mr. Mayor, where Ted Danson plays the brand new mayor of Los Angeles. And so I believe the first episode came out this week. I'm going to check it out on Hulu, but the commercial looked really funny. I mean, and it's Ted Danson. So, I mean, I'll check it out. He was really good in The Good Place. So this is his next show.
Did they?
I'm sorry.
Done now?
Yeah, Good Place ended last year, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I need to catch up.
Yeah,
I'm
but
so far behind.
I know here in the States, the whole show is on Netflix.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they have it up in Canada because that's what I've been watching it on, but they better still have it.
But does this sound like a show that you guys would check out? I mean, do you like comedies? Do you like Ted Danson?
I'll probably check it out. I'm known to watch a lot of sitcom TV. I'm in the process of watching Mom right now, so it's like
I've seen bits of that. It was good what I've seen.
It is really good. Like Anna Faris is a fantastic actress. I love her. The reason I don't understand the reason why she left the show for the season, but I'm kind of liking it without her right now, and the focus is on her mom and her. Yeah,
I love Allison Janney.
But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
with Mr. Mayor though. Just really quickly, like with Mr. Mayor, I think Ted Danson has had a chance to kind of like reinvent himself a little bit. Like we know him best
from Cheers,
but
yeah, I
think since his hair went gray, he has a whole nother side of himself that I enjoy so much more than what he was in before.
I mean, if you look at like the stuff that he's done in the last 20 years, I mean, like he was on CSI, and I thought his character was pretty good on CSI. Yeah. It was a departure from what he normally, had done.
Well, and he's not necessarily like his comedy is drier and snarkier, so he kind of works in shows like that because he can be the sort of comic relief that a show like that needs without necessarily being the comedian.
Yeah. And his wife is a fantastic actress as well. She's in your favorite show, which is returning for a second season, which is Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
It is already, well, it's already returned. And so I am like behind now. So no spoilers, but
with COVID, it messed up a lot of these shows because a lot of these shows were supposed to come out last year, or some of them did, but then because they had halt production, there was a big gap in the rest of the episodes because they had to start filming.
Yeah,
we were talking about Becker in the comments there.
Yeah, Becker was good.
Because he was in Becker too, Ted Danson. But I really do watch entirely too much TV. But
you and me both.
I don't get enough of it.
Like when you live the life I do, it's nice to just kind of be surrounded by fictional people that get their shit solved in a half an hour, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore because like our shit's never solved in a half an hour, and shit that school's never solved in half an hour. So it's just nice to have things solved at the end of the show. It's like, okay.
At times our arguments carry on to the next day, and it's not fun.
No. And I mean, because with Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, I mean, there's the whole arc about losing her dad, but there's the other arc of hearing other people's thoughts through song. And
can I just say I've never seen anything like this done. So in the first season, she's having an
MRI.
An MRI. So she's like inside the machine, and then I guess what is it?
It's an earthquake.
An earthquake. And so like it causes the machine to go crazy. And so when it comes back, the best way to explain
when she gets out of the MRI machine, she can all of a sudden hear people's heart songs.
So like right now, if we were in there's a song in all of our heads, and we're singing it. So like a normal person would just see us talking, but with her, she would see us singing the song, whatever that song is.
Like if you had something on your mind and your subconscious, it would be.
She would get annoyed by me very quickly because all I have is like Journey running through my head half the time.
I do all kinds of weird stuff.
But this is a really good show. It's heartfelt. It's funny. It doesn't feel like there's any like agenda, like politically or religiously or anything. It's
just. It follows people in like real life. Like
it's exactly like that. It's
very just like these are real life things that happen to us. We have babies and we get married and we lose parents and we, it's all of those things. And the fact that, the title characters, like that Zoe has to deal with her dad, but she also has to deal with this love triangle with the guy she had a crush on that she didn't realize was engaged, and then she broke up their wedding accidentally. And then the guy who's her best friend who actually loves her, but apparently only recently found out that he loves her and sings her heart songs all the time. And so she kind of just feels stuck. And it's just kind of fun because you're like, well, that's kind of like a little bit of all of us. Like we don't always say what we should say to the person we want to say it to.
Yeah. And it has the girl from Gilmore Girls. It plays her boss. Lauren Graham.
So it's Jane Levy.
I believe that's how you say her name.
That is her name.
And she works at a tech.
And she works at a tech company as a programmer
in San Francisco. So San Francisco plays a big part in
all
show.
Of the myriad of characters that she works with. And it's got Skylar Astin from Pitch Perfect. And I cannot. You're a hot woman too, Brian. What?
No, I think he's saying there's hot women on the screen, and he's like, "Oh, you too, Brian."
Oh, okay. Well, punctuation is important, apparently. I skipped over that.
Join us and be our eye candy for the day.
There you go.
But I really enjoy this show, and it's just a fun half hour. Like.
And I don't know what it airs on in Canada, but here in the States, NBC.
Except for the last 6 episodes, I cried for every single one of them. And then when I rewatched the first 3, I ended up crying too. So because I knew it was going to happen. So, but like I said, as a person who cries at everything, if I can identify with the characters and something they're going through, then I'm gonna cry, and that's just life.
Yeah. So
what's next?
Another show that's returning that we still have to watch the first season. You do have the book, but we haven't yet had a chance to get into it.
I haven't finished the book either. Like I have way too many books started and unfinished too.
It's a Sundance and original, but it also airs on Shudder, which is a all horror streaming service, and it's called A Discovery of Witches.
I saw the first season.
Did you like the first season?
I did.
Yeah, so the second season is returning. From
do we have a date yet?
I think it is coming. It either came out this week or it's coming out next week. I know it's coming out in January.
Okay, cool.
But if you have either Shudder or Sundance Now, it is on both of those streaming services. And Discover it's interesting because like they kind of make it's like an adult version of Harry Potter meets like Charmed mixed with Doctor Who. It's kind of like all in a blend. Yeah, it's all like put in a blender.
Interesting.
And the book is similar to that too. Maybe not Gilmore Girls, more maybe Sex and the City. Like it's more
it's got
adult.
Some
like
in it.
It's a little more adult. Like it's not as funny as it is adult.
Right.
Yeah.
Like and then
it's got interesting twists and turns. There's things that happen that you're like, oh, wow. But I really liked the first season. I'll have to rewatch that again before I watch the second. It's been a while.
I'll have to catch up on it because I've caught a couple of episodes, but I just hadn't. Like I said,
so is that going to compete with American Horror Story?
No, because American Horror Story is more of an anthology.
It's a different kind of show. It's just it's a different kind of show. American Horror Story to me seems more. It's an anthology, but it's very character driven.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and this one is more story driven. It feels like.
Yeah.
So.
And then another returning show that's also based on graphic novel by Neil Gaiman is American Gods is returning to Stars for season 3. Now, this is a show that it took off. Like, it's a lot of people are talking about how everyone should watch American Gods.
I'm late to the party too because we missed the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, but we have Stars, so we can check it out.
We have everything.
Yeah.
That's why I watch too much TV.
But have you guys either seen or even read American Gods?
No, not yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's Neil Gaiman. I mean, you can't go wrong with Neil Gaiman. So,
well, I didn't enjoy Good Omens, but maybe that's because I don't understand British humor.
Yeah,
it's a British humor thing I don't get, but I didn't enjoy it.
I've been trying to watch that show myself, and every time I put it on, I somehow manage to fall asleep.
I get distracted and watch something else. Like I love Michael Sheen, but right? Did I say the right name?
Yeah, Michael Sheen and David Tennant is in it.
And I love them both, but if
it was more focused on them, maybe I probably would like it a little bit better. But
it's just not a show I could get into.
I found the first episode was really slow, and that's what kind of got me away from that show. I got through the first episode, but then I tried to watch it, and it was still kind of slow. So I just kind of.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna mentions that,
and I'm sure that the comic book is different than the TV show. I mean, like, A Discovery of Witches was different is different than the book. I don't get the same feel from the TV show that I got from the book. So
okay.
And then we have some Fox shows returning. We got The Resident season 4 is returning. This was a show that. I mean, there's a lot of medical shows that have been on TV over the years, but this was a show that like felt different. It wasn't ER. It wasn't Chicago Hope. There was just something different about it.
I think it's because it's a 30-something guy that has, seen the world and been a medic and he was
a former Marine.
He was a Marine
played by, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's from Gilmore Girls. He played Logan on Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
Michael Zer.
Yeah. Starts with a C. That's all I know. And then it's got his love interest is Emily Van Camp. From Everwood, but if you're a fan of the Captain America,
she played Nurse Nick.
Yeah, but she was in Captain America. She played Sharon Carter.
Yeah.
Huh.
Agent Carter.
Yeah. And then
That's the only one that found that funny.
and then you want to talk about this one because this show was the best show of last season.
I did not think I would like. I did not think I would enjoy Prodigal Son, but I do. And
I've been
even though
meaning to
some of
watch
it's
that.
pretty dark, I mean, it can be pretty dark, but it also has Michael Sheen in it too. And he plays his father and the surgeon, the serial killer, the surgeon. So it's just interesting. And I think maybe I keep on watching because it's called The Prodigal Son. So I'm waiting for him to return and be what his father wants him to be. And I'm kind of, terrified for that moment because he's a freaking genius and, what could he get away with? But
Lou Diamond Phillips is in it.
Lou Diamond Phillips is in it.
I've watched like a couple episodes, and it is a very good series. Like I have to actually sit down and watch it fully.
It's well written, and for me, there are very few shows that I'll watch without something in front of me because I have to do two things at once. Like I will always have like coloring in front of me or work I have to do in front of me or something in front of me. And though that show and a few others are shows that I'll watch without any other distraction.
The main cast member is Tom Payne, who is Jesus in The Walking Dead. And so when he left The Walking Dead, he did this show. And I think a lot of The Walking Dead fans that liked that character hopped over to see. And I kind of think that's what's going to happen with Jared Padalecki for Supernatural when he does Walker. I think we're going to see a lot of the fans.
I promise you, every single Supernatural fan that was a Sam girl is going to be watching Walker. Whether you know who Chuck Norris is or not, you're going to be watching Walker.
Yeah.
And we might as well just jump to that real quickly because before we talk about the others, because like for me, I know people are like, well, it's only getting the notoriety, blah, blah, blah. And you can't remake the series and whatever. And it's like, Chuck Norris is great. And we love Chuck Norris. Don't get us wrong. But Jared Padalecki had never seen Chuck Norris in Walker, Texas Ranger anyways. So he's going to have his own spin on it anyways, which I think whenever you redo something, you have to kind of breathe new life into it so people want to watch.
Yeah.
And yes, us fangirls, we will all be there. January
21st, I believe.
21st.
Okay.
But it's also a different take on the Walker character. This Walker has kids.
And a wife that you never saw.
Okay, so they're gearing more towards like the people who liked Longmire.
And because, well, with law enforcement, isn't it kind of the family? You have to kind of talk about the families too. You can't just talk about the police officers because the families are the people that are also involved in everything. I mean, it affects them too.
Yeah. So when I read
eat some popcorn and shut
the little bio on this show is his wife is played by his real life wife is murdered and he's stuck in his head trying to figure out what happened and it's driving him kind of where the family's driven apart.
Completely ripped off Longmire. Huh. Okay.
I guess I mean we'll have to see if they go like totally that full route. But I mean, Longmire was a good show, and the CW doesn't really have a show like this. They have all those comic book shows, and so having a show like this, I think the CW needed it.
I think that CW needs to start. Also, I think
writing their own stuff
is to start getting older generations to stick with their shows. Like they had Supernatural for 15 years and I think that they're trying to keep us Supernatural fans, but also because we're all in our 30s and 40s now. Well, most of us are in our 30s and 40s now, but and then to add to that, like to have our generation come new into it and watch the series instead of just comic book fans. And what else is on CW?
Yeah.
Sorry, but essentially comic book shows. Like,
they're bringing in another Superman show.
Yeah. Well, this seems interesting. We'll hop into that. It's called Superman and Lois, which we really like the guy that plays Superman,
Tyler Hoechlin.
And Lois Lane is played by oh my god, I can never remember her name, but she was on the TV show Grimm.
Okay.
She's actually married in real life to that actor.
Oh, interesting.
The actor that's on A Million Little Things that I can't remember his name on the A Million Little Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully we start seeing. I mean, I like Batman, I like Superman and stuff. It just seems when it comes to DC, it's like that's all they keep making. It's Superman and Batman.
It would be nice to have like a live action, league.
Did Arrow finally get canceled? Yeah, Arrow ended already. It ended with its
sixth season.
No, seventh
season.
Yeah. Or was
Which
it
I was behind on
or
anyways,
8, I think it was the final. It was last year.
Don't get me wrong. I love Stephen Amell and I loved Arrow very much, but I kind of got lost in the last 3 seasons and I just didn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
I have yet to watch the new Batwoman. So it's...
Yeah, well, speaking of Batwoman, Batwoman season 2 has a new actress playing Batwoman, and it's a brand new character. It's not even a character ripped from the comic books. It's a character that they created specifically for this show because of what had happened at the end of last season, where she had said that she didn't want to play Batwoman anymore.
Yeah, well, she injured her neck. She wasn't able to continue.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of theories on why she left and all of that. And, I mean, the only people that know are the people involved. But I'm interested in this new season to see what they do. I've seen the actress in the suit, and I think she looks really good. I don't know if you guys have seen photos of the new Batwoman.
I've seen photos, and I've seen the trailer. So it's. I wish her luck. I really do. I really do want to see this show continue and be a success.
I think we need more women that are powerful characters in their own standalone shows.
And it's a woman of color too.
But not just because they're women, but I think because we need to start shining the light on the fact that women can carry a show and it can tell story. And so, like I've said a million times before, I don't care if it doesn't need to be a woman or a woman of color or a bisexual woman or a lesbian. Or it doesn't need to be that simply because it needs to be that. It just needs to tell the story. And I think that Absolutely. If women are doing that, then we're going to be okay. It's not that I didn't enjoy the first one. It's just that the first season just didn't hook me in. Like, there were other things I would have rather watched.
Yeah.
So it kind of lost out to those other shows. And it wasn't because I didn't want to. It's that it just wasn't a show that caught me and made me keep watching.
Yeah.
So let's hop over to Disney Plus, where they're finally launching their first Marvel show, WandaVision, which comes out on January 15th. I'm actually super excited for this show.
I can't even say her name. So.
What was that, Willow? Go ahead. You want to say something?
I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to see where it goes because it's like House of M, pretty much. But it's just. Wanda,
I like the take
between Wanda and Vision has always creeped me out in the comic books and even in the cartoons. And just
well, I like the take that they're doing the sitcom, and like they're the black and white sitcoms and the shows from like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s to the early to like mid 2000s.
I kind of like the fact that all of the characters they play, like in the sitcoms that they kind of invade, are all sitcoms that we kind of understand, and each of those characters had interesting relationships themselves. Like the male and the female character counterparts, they all had weird.
All right, guys, time for your sales
relationship.
pitch. How do you find Disney Plus thus far?
Oh,
well, I can't get rid of Netflix because Netflix it has a lot of.
You can't get rid of Netflix because I will kill you if you get rid of Netflix.
Netflix has a lot of great.
Yep.
Netflix is separate than, I mean, like, I guess it's if you love watching all kinds of different stuff, you have Netflix. But Disney Plus is good too, though, because it has all of National Geographic. They have some premium content, but like, it's really not expensive.
No, I mean they just raised it by like $1 or something, so it's like $8.99 now. But I mean Disney's a brand that everybody. It doesn't. You don't even have to be a fan of Disney to know what Disney is. It's just that kind of brand. So like the Chris says she'd kill me too. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Where with Disney is there are only certain set of films, so like that's all you have, and yet those certain set of films are still good, or TV, shows or whatever. But you're just stuck in that bubble. Where with Netflix, I mean, you have those type of films, but then you also have like rated R films, more mature TV shows. So I guess it really depends on what you want. But I'm one of the people that thought that Disney would not do what they've done. In their first year, they're already over 80 million subscribers.
Wow.
That's insane.
Oh, wow.
Where you have Netflix is almost at 200 million subscribers. So in 1 year, Disney gets to like 80, I think it was like 86 million subscribers. That's insane.
But you have to see it from the perspective of it's carrying the Disney name. People are looking at needing to, deal with Disney addictions, like without buying a million videos.
This is true.
Unlike certain people that are sitting.
Ted, here's what you do. You get a TV set up in your studio. That way you're in control of your own television.
Why not have the best of both worlds? That's what I say.
Yeah, when you spend more on streaming channels than you do on cable.
Well, here's the thing. People say that you with all the streaming things, you're paying for this, paying for that. And it's like you're back at the cable prices. Well, if you look at the prices of streaming services, they're still pretty cheap compared to cable. What cable companies are going to do to get you is you still have to pay for internet. So they're going to make internet prices higher.
Well, we pay for internet too. Plus the 400 streaming things we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Believe
but
me, I've been tempted to get rid of cable and just get all the streaming services because there's like Crave is about the only Crave is our HBO. Crave is pretty much the only thing that I watch on our television. I don't watch anything else. Well, until Blue Bloods and The Rookie comes back.
I think didn't they just come back?
yeah,
They're
Rookie
coming back this
Sunday.
weekend.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But see, we don't actually have cable. Like, I don't have a cable box or anything like that. We pay for our Spectrum internet, which includes their like app. which is like their cable, so we can go to Roku.
It's live TV.
It's live TV.
It's on our Roku, but it's their live TV app.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's included with the internet. So that's what we're paying for. But to hop onto the WandaVision thing, this is the first Marvel show that is coming out on Disney Plus. It wasn't not initially supposed to be the first one. With COVID, of course, it ruined what was supposed to come out in August last year, which was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And because of COVID, they had to halt production on that show, so that show wasn't going to be ready. So WandaVision was finished, and there was rumors WandaVision was going to be released in December, as right at the end of Mandalorian season 2, so that Disney would have more shows. But then they decided to release Soul on Christmas Day and WandaVision in January. WandaVision was initially going to be 6 episodes. They expanded to 9. So it's going to run all the way up until the week before Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, nice.
So as soon as WandaVision ends, we're going to get Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So Disney Plus is now going to pump out all these originals that they've promised from the beginning of launch. So I suspect with Disney Plus launching all this stuff this year alone, we just saw how much stuff is coming out this year. And when we get to the movie section, we'll talk about that. But I think Netflix may be in a bind here. They're going to be like, Disney's going to catch up to Netflix, I guarantee, by Christmas of this year. Based on subscribers.
I don't disagree. I do think that would be. Surely we got to move a little.
Yeah,
faster.
we're gonna move a little along here, but
okay. The only other thing that I want to talk about, just because it's not comic book related, actually, there's 2 things. So, is the return of 911 and 911 Lone Star. And the reason I say that is because I understand that there's plenty of people who complain about how 911 Lone Star isn't as good as the original and blah blah blah. Okay. They're 2 different shows set in 2 different places, and they have 2 different casts. So think about the fact that 911 is more of a
well, it's set in Los Angeles.
It's set in LA. And then Lone Star is set in Austin. So if you're at all familiar with either one of those cities, they have trademark things that are more important to one or the other. So while both are a melting pot, one is a slightly more progressive as far as sexuality. And so there's more conversation you can have throughout gender and gender equality and sexual orientation equality through the Austin show and Lone Star than you can others. So
well, Austin's trademark motto is Austin Weird.
Yeah, keep Austin weird. So there you go. But 911 has some of my favorite actors of all time on it, like freaking Angela Bassett. Like, how do you? I'm sorry, it's fucking Angela Bassett. Like,
yeah,
you know, she's bitching.
Academy Award winning.
She's
Angela
amazing.
Bassett.
And Peter Krause. Peter Krause
from 6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under.
But he was also in
Parenthood.
Parenthood, yeah.
So I mean, they're amazing casts, and they all work really well together, and it's fun. Lone Star gives you kind of a picture at more of an eclectic group of people. People who are dealing with all kinds of things in their lives as far as differences are concerned. And this is what I love about that TV show in particular, is that there is a transgender actor on it, and he represents a transgender character, and it deals with the life of, you know, being a firefighter and being transgender. So I think that all of those things, without preaching at you, are all of those things that are nice to be able to see on TV represented, and not represented in a preachy bullshit kind of way.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's my piece.
That's your piece.
And then, of course, you know, The Rookie came back on Sunday, and A Million Little Things, which is a fucking amazing show too.
Yeah. And
And it makes me cry every episode as well.
Also, ending this TV season is The Walking Dead is ending after season 10.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not over. The Walking Dead, the original show, is over, but they are continuing Fear the Walking Dead, and there's a spinoff with Norman Reedus and the actress that plays Carol.
Okay.
Because it's so funny because Carol wasn't even supposed to be an actual character. Like, she was supposed to be like in a couple episodes, but apparently the fans took to her, and so she's there, 10 seasons later. And I would probably argue that she's probably more popular than the Daryl character. So that's ending.
I'm so sorry, but all that conversation, you know what I heard?
Yeah.
You know what I heard? I don't care.
No, I've watched. I was a long supporter of The Walking Dead for a while there, and then it just dragged on, and it does need to end. It really does. Much like NCIS. Like, I love that show dearly, but this newer season, like last season was kind of bleh.
The two spin-offs of NCIS are, I will say, better than the original.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, New Orleans and Los Angeles are way better.
You have to like because it's character driven again. So it's character driven and in certain cities. So like if you like Chris O'Donnell and LL Cool J, you'll love LA. Because it's very LA, it has a very LA feel.
New Orleans
if
has
you
Scott
like
Bakula.
Scott Bakula and that New Orleans that feel, then you're gonna like that show too. But they all kind of, I mean, they're all in the same vein of NCIS. So
right.
It's just like the 400 spin-offs of CSI. So
yeah,
wherever they were, it was another.
Like, my favorite CSI is New York. Because
I was Las Vegas. Only because then I could say, that's not Las Vegas.
Well, that's just it. Like, I just found that CSI in New York was a little bit more intelligent than the other ones, but.
New York had
Gary Sinise
and I don't know, maybe it's more cerebral. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there was a comment about Shamar Moore.
Yeah, he's not on CSI. He's on SWAT.
He's on SWAT now, but he was on Criminal Minds. Not
Yeah.
CSI.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Shamar Moore. Mm-hmm.
And I see my first taste of Shamar Moore.
Baby girl. Like,
see, I actually know Shamar Moore from before Criminal Minds when he
Days of Our Lives.
Young and the Restless.
Oh, Young and the Restless. That's the one.
Yeah. But yeah, SWAT's another great show.
I like SWAT. I like SWAT a lot.
Before we end the TV thing here, I just want to talk about two shows that are finally coming out sometime this year. There's no date. Showtime is finally going to release Halo. Yes, that Halo, based on the video game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, my husband's a huge Halo. Halo's Halo is it's actually a really good game. My husband loves it. I've read the books. At least some of them anyway. I don't think I've read them all yet, but we have the whole set of the books. If they can keep it relatively close to either the books or the game, then it'll be an awesome show. But I can see there being issues with that.
After the show, I'll actually send you some links to the show. It's got a great cast and got good people behind the camera. So I think it might excite you. The other thing that's coming out is the Lord of the Rings series on Amazon Prime. which I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. I mean, Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's a beloved book series, and it's beloved films by maybe a certain part of people that are not here at the table.
They haven't beaten that to a pulp yet with the movies.
I'm kind of over the Lord of the Rings, but I was reading the comment and thinking in my head about the boys, so I couldn't really. I was all over the place, so I'm like, whatever. But I just saw murder porn, and I was like, what? But no, I know it's not coming this season, but on Amazon Prime, if you haven't checked out The Boys, shut up. Jesus. Here, eat some popcorn. Such a needy dog. He's supposed to be my emotional support animal.
Have you guys seen the cat that's like climbing around me?
Mine haven't done that yet, but
she's on my lap.
There will be a cat's butt going across Willow's face soon.
Well, she already had her tail. She's tried to knock over the laptop. She's messed with the arm that's holding the camera, and now she's down. She'll be back up in a minute. She hopped on me earlier, and there was a tail. I'm like putting the tail down, putting her head down. Oh. I'll still go knock over something and then come back.
If you haven't checked out The Boys on Amazon Prime, check it out. It is a more sinister look at superheroes.
If superheroes were ran by corporations in the real world.
Yeah. And quick plug, like Jared Padalecki will be in Walker, Texas Ranger. My boy, Jensen Ackles, will be Soldier Boy on the next season of The Boys. So I am making that spectacular. Have another reason to watch TV. Except for, what is his name? Carl Urban.
Who's
Carl Urban? Oh my God, Carl Urban.
Yeah.
So he plays, and he's not even a superhero, but he plays this guy. I never say that word as much, but apparently in Britain you can say this word and it's not even offensive. I've never heard that word said so many times.
Yeah.
The C word? I've never heard the C word.
Yeah, we won't
times.
not say that word here.
I don't think we can say it on Facebook or they'll bleep us and turn us off. But yeah, so I was like, oh my God. And so we did. We counted it once.
Well, I believe there's actually a YouTube video where it counts how many times he says that word in the 2 seasons combined.
It's insane.
Yes, Carl Urban was in the Star Trek movies. He did play Bones. And he's also related to country singer Keith Urban.
He's amazing.
Okay, that tidbit I did not know.
Yeah, he's actually Keith Urban's cousin.
Huh. Interesting. All right.
I saw a new show that's coming out on. I caught a glimpse of it. Resident Alien. Have you guys heard of that yet?
I want to see
with
that
Alan
so
Tudyk.
bad.
Yeah, I was looking at it. Starting
Sci-Fi
soon.
Channel.
Yeah, I think we'll be watching that one too, won't we?
Yeah.
January 27th. It looks really good.
Because
and
Alan
I'm looking forward
Tudyk.
to that.
He went to Juilliard just to talk for a chicken.
Wow.
I love
Moana?
It looks really funny and silly and a little twisted, which is exactly what I need in my life. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't get to watch as much TV. I tend to have a lot of music on. So when I finally see something that's coming out that isn't something I'm catching up on, I get really excited. The little things.
So I got a little fun thing, and then we'll hop into the Kickstarter stuff.
A little fun thing.
Yeah. So this is for the live chat. How many people in the live chat like the film Beverly Hills Cop and actually want a 4K digital copy of that? The first person to say me will get that.
The first person to say me.
And unfortunately, we don't count.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say that.
But are you guys a fan of Beverly Hills Cop?
I remember watching it in movies.
Yeah, we actually.
Ted
Davies.
Hey.
All right, Ted. After the show, I'll reach out to you and I'll get you that digital copy.
I absolutely. Okay, I love Eddie Murphy, but I love Eddie Murphy in like the 80s. I don't love Eddie Murphy now. Sorry.
No, well, I think you said
Sorry.
that he kind of lost himself. Like he needs to go back and find that Eddie Murphy.
I think it's that the whole world's become so damn PC that we can't say what we really mean. So the stuff that made Eddie Murphy funny was his comedy and the way he could deliver a line. And
like this,
I know for real, like he literally says, so nobody saw him. I just got thrown the goddamn window. So we never, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's the same with most comedians, is that they don't get, like, if they were a comedian in the 80s, they don't necessarily translate into comedy now because everybody's so up there.
I feel like ever since George Carlin died, the world just kind of lost its shit.
Well, the thing is, there's still comedians that were like that after he passed. It's just like the way that everyone is so butthurt over everything. It's like, and they got to realize comedy is comedy. Like you're supposed to be able to joke about stuff like that because it's comedy. I mean, they don't really.
And with comedy, when you make a joke about something, there's a grain of truth to it. So people wouldn't make jokes about. They wouldn't make jokes about stereotypes if stereotypes didn't exist. They wouldn't make jokes about that if it wasn't funny because you know somebody that's like that. Like we all know that person.
Like I don't know how old George Carlin would be right now, but if he was still alive
70s or 80s.
And doing comedy, I still think he would not give an F and still do the same comedy.
Absolutely.
And those of us who grew up with his comedy, that's almost terrible to say because like my mom really was a good mom. But like I grew up with his comedy, we wouldn't be offended, and maybe our kids would also not be offended, but all the other people would be offended because they're stupid. And I guess comedy is subjective, but you know, like I don't personally think Andrew Dice Clay is funny, but some people do.
I mean, for those of us, like I relate to a lot of Christopher Titus's comedy. I feel like it because of my upbringing and my past. Like I've learned to make fun of a lot of it, and then when people are like around me and I'm making fun of my family, they're like, "Oh," I'm like, "What? You guys don't have a crazy family?" I find that hard to believe, but. You do tend to relate to certain comedians depending on life stages.
Yeah. See, like my favorite stand-up comedians of all time, in no particular order, is Robin Williams, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, and Sam Kinison. And if you have never, I mean, for the younger folks out there, if you don't know who Sam Kinison is, YouTube him. That's all we're going to say.
I like Jeff Dunham.
Yes.
Jeff Dunham good too.
That's my sense of humor. It's right up there my alley.
I will always enjoy the comedy of people who can make fun of themselves and their family. Jeff Foxworthy for one.
Well, I guess you can throw Bill Engvall in there.
Bill Engvall too. Oh, I loved all the redneck comedies.
They call him Tater Salad. Ron White.
I didn't think he was as funny, but maybe that's just because
he's got a dry humor, and he always says that he's got a
kind of humor that it is. Like
he is funny if he can stay sober for a lot longer than his show lasts. I've seen him live. He is freaking hilarious, but he does. Like the longer his show goes, the more sloshed he gets. I don't know if he still is like that, but yeah.
So my favorite probably is George Carlin, but also I really do love some of the older stuff that was like Eddie Murphy's older stuff and Bill Cosby's older stuff, and
you can't forget Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor's stuff, but. I do happen to enjoy their comedy a lot, and not just because it pokes fun at, but mostly because it pokes fun at everybody. They poke fun at themselves, their own group, their own families, their own, like they poke fun at all of that. And we know that to be true because when someone who is not like them or is younger or generational or a different color or a different religion can laugh, I think it's because we see a little bit of that in ourselves. Like we can understand that. It's funny to us because we get it. Like we know those people. We're like, oh, well, that's my Uncle Frank, you know, like whoever.
And I always say this: the creators of South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, they said if you cannot laugh at anything, or I'm trying to figure out. They said if you can't laugh at everything, then you can't laugh at nothing.
Yeah,
like their show South Park is meant to not make fun of people, but like
it's satire. It's political satire. It's what's going on in the real world. It's society. It's societal satire. It's like it's making fun of the shit that happens in society.
Right.
I love Eliza Schlesinger.
Oh, she's so funny.
Oh my God.
If you have Netflix, all of her specials are on there.
And
really
generally, good. Women comedians who call people bitches freak me out, but this woman is so fucking funny when she talks about it. And the fact that she's also like she's a skinny girl, but she talks about being body positive. And she talks about, like loving your body and even the parts that you hate. And, she talks about sex and she just talks about being a woman. I really love that.
That's very cool.
The whole, when she was in her wedding dress and like, yeah.
There's a whole she did a whole bit on being in her wedding dress and how she didn't want a wedding dress, but she did want a wedding dress. And I think she talks like most of us think, like she's, enough to say it. But also there's a teacher comedian and his name is Eddie B. You can find him on Facebook. His name is Eddie B. Comedy.
And he's a real teacher, right?
And he was a teacher for years. And so he tours in between teaching and he brings all of his teacher friends that also tell humorous tales about being a teacher onto the tour. And I saw him live and all of his gang of people. And yes, it's funny to me because I'm a teacher and because I've said those things. Like I've literally said those things. Like, please don't lick the pencil sharpener. But like it's funny to us because we live it. And if you have never been a teacher, you would never really understand. You say, really, that happens? I'm like, yes, it fucking happens. Like my kids are like, the words you never think you're going to string together until you have children is only amplified by the words that you don't think you're going to string together until you're a teacher. Please don't lick the pencil sharpener. Please don't touch another person's whatever.
Don't eat
Please
the glue.
Stop humping the trash can. Like these are just little things that you never think you're going to say out loud, but apparently, when you're a teacher, you do.
So now we're going to hop into our brand new segment where we're going to talk about Kickstarters, and I believe Willow, you have those links.
We need a fancy.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Heather. Okay. The stage is yours.
All right. So Karen Nicole launched a Kickstarter, Fire Bitch #2.
I have to fix that. Sorry.
And her and her husband Alfred have put together a few comics. They've done a bunch of projects. She's done Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. She's the type that not only she can make fun of herself, she could, pretty much anything goes, very little filter, very cool, very smart woman. And she cosplays, she colors, she does all sorts of things. You can catch her live. She's a stand-up comedian. So she's done a little bit of everything.
We'll actually see her tomorrow evening on my show. I'm coming back to doing Willow's Pillow Talk. But yeah, I will be interviewing her tomorrow.
Awesome.
Sorry,
awesome.
Go ahead.
She's doing great. And And there's all sorts of different covers, and it's an awesome story. So definitely check it out. If you missed Fire Bitch 1, you want to go back and get that also. The colors are pretty freaking awesome. The artwork is amazing. She's got the cosplay covers, and hit a ton of stretch goals. So pretty much as soon as you back it, you're going to find some amazing things. Definitely want to check her out. And if you haven't followed her,
how long is this Kickstarter going for?
This one has 6 days to go. And she's already got 445 backers. This is not her first Kickstarter.
This art is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous
Very
work.
sexy, but you know what? I love sexy, so.
Well, she is sexy. I mean, Kara Nicole is sexy, and she's smart, and she stands up for herself. So a lot of that comes through, I think, in what she does.
Yeah, she does sexy not just to do sexy. Like she does it the right way. Where there's a lot of people in that field that do it just because.
She does everything from sexy to silly. I mean, she really does. She's able to be herself, and like we were talking about, make fun of yourself and laugh at yourself, laugh at, other things. I don't know. Definitely one to check out. I'd highly recommend it. And the artwork, I mean, is phenomenal.
The artwork is stunning. And okay, let's be honest here. Pictures like this is the reason why I started reading comic books. And I'm sure that's the reason why a lot of gentlemen will do start reading comic books as well, is because of this kind of art.
Well, sexy sells. As much as people don't want to go with that, it does sell. This is not a children's comic book. Comics are not all meant for kids, and this is one that is more geared towards the adults. But it's not extremely, it's not like a porn. It's sexy. It's got some fun adult situation type of things. And if you have not checked her out, you can find her as AZ Power Girl Nicole, Kara Nicole, on Facebook, and follow her. And she also has a group and a fan page.
Yeah, definitely check that out, guys, because I have been following that Kickstarter, and Alfred is a great artist.
He is. He absolutely is. And they've done some great projects together before, so it's always fun to see what they come up with. And she even has songs that they've done together. She's getting together album. You can find her songs. I believe they're on Spotify and on YouTube. She shares it all right on her fan page and right on her main profile. So you can pretty much find her anywhere. If you look up Kara Nicole, you will find her all over.
Yeah.
She definitely has a presence.
Yes, definitely.
She's on Instagram, and I find her so stunning. I can't wait to meet her.
She is. I was hoping to meet her, and then, the world changed.
You're welcome to join us tomorrow if you want.
I go live tomorrow at 10 from Eastern.
Oh, right.
Tomorrow's Sunday, right? I'm losing track of days again with the holidays. But I will absolutely share it out.
What's the next Kickstarter we have going up?
Which link do you have next?
Capable.
So Capable is pretty cool. It is for mature readers. It is what happens if one day everyone that has a disability gains superpowers. How would people react? Would you be good? Would you be evil? How would you take that from having a disability to all of a sudden being able to do some different things?
Okay, you had me hooked at if everyone with disabilities gains superpowers.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine, how some people would be, how they would react to it? Would they help people, or would they go the other way?
Yeah.
And I think that's a very interesting concept. It only has 5 days left to go, so you definitely want to hit that remind me or back it or even share it out.
Hmm.
They have that goal, so it's already, it's fully funded. It's just absolutely something you want to take a look at.
And again, stunning art.
Yes.
I love that a lot of these independent artists and writers and just creators of not just in the comic world, but all sorts of arts that use Kickstarter to involve the community. I think Kickstarter is going to be. I mean, it's huge right now, but I think it's going to be like the future of the entertainment industry.
Hmm.
Well, with the indies, I mean, it's so hard with everything that got changed and shifted. I think that they gave the indies a chance to really get the spotlight on them. And the Kickstarters are great because you can pick the tier that you want and find something that fits you financially, and you get everything you want. Plus, a lot of them have amazing stretch goals. So you also get all these extra bonuses that, as much as I love going to my LCS, it's fun getting these Kickstarters that a lot of times my local store doesn't have anyway. So I'm able to support the creator and the artist directly, along with everybody that comes into it, without dealing with big distributors and the other stuff. And it's fun to watch them. Yes.
Sorry, you get to fund what you want to see.
Yes.
Like if somebody's going to tell a story and it's important to you, then you have an opportunity to like share it out with the world, but also read it because it's something you're interested in.
Right. And you really get a good look at what it's about with Kickstarter. You get really good previews. You're not just looking on a shelf. You're not looking through whatever. And the other cool thing is with a lot of the Kickstarters, you get to talk to the creators. You talk directly to who put it together. And I find that amazing. There's so much talent around. This one is by Jonathan Hedrick. But I love the storyline. I love the idea. And I think it'll be fun. And it's 1 through 3, so it's the series so far.
The next one, I'm excited for this. I've been following it every time it pops up on my feed because of Heather. I'm just like get excited. I love this.
Naughty Fairies, yes. So Wendy Steenshiner has done this before with the virtual Comic-Cons. And it's very cool because you pretty much pick your package that you want to get, whether you want the VIP and the all-exclusive. You get the name tags. You get all sorts of really cool goodies. And it's fun being able to go to virtual con. One, I miss, seeing people. But it's also an experience that if you were never able to go to a con before or nothing in your area, you're able to go from wherever you are. They have everything from Artist Alley. They do, digital admissions or basic admission, which you get the swag bag and some of the goodies.
Hold on. Can I see that $79 one? Like, what? Look at all that stuff you get for the price.
Oh, absolutely. And that's not including any of the stretch goals. So that's the package you buy. Plus, then you're going to get all the stretch goals, and you can always do add-ons. And she has put together quite a few different Kickstarters, either for herself or worked with other people. And the stuff always comes packaged well. Very cool, great quality. I actually backed the steampunk playing cards. I don't know if you can see them from here. I didn't take out a package yet. I still have to take pictures. But she did this with Steph Wilson and Carrie Ann and had very steampunk playing cards, Naughty Fairies, and it's very fun. So that was a very, very short, quick Kickstarter they did right before, I think it was in November, and had it before Christmas for gifts.
So
Okay.
this Naughty Fairies one right here, how long do we have left on this one?
You have 22 days to go, so you definitely want to go take a look and pick your package. Some tiers will sell out. I believe they have some of the artist alleys and some certain things. They tend to be limited. So if you see something you want to get, you want to hop on now, and of course, always share it out. Because who doesn't want to go to a virtual con right now?
I mean, it's like the art style of the Naughty Fairies to me is very cartoony, but I still love it because it's kind of a mixture of realism and cartoony-ish. But yeah, but I don't know.
And there's a bunch of different artists involved. So you really can take whether you want the cosplay covers or if you want the more artistic, if you want the sexier stuff. Wilson, I mean, you have the different type of styles and artists and all different looks.
Yeah.
So you pick your package, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited about that one.
The next one is the Compendium of Dread.
Yes, so I threw this in. It is a book. Meredith is the writer, and I wanted to give her a shout out. She helps so many indies. She helps promote so many people within this industry, in this comic world, writing world. She does interviews. She's on all sorts of podcasts, somewhat by herself, some with other people. This looks very cool. It's an anthology of dark fiction. So there's going to be different stories in it, and I'm excited to read them. But I wanted to give her a shout out because she supports so many people, and this is, I believe, her first Kickstarter that she's ever put together for herself. This is her book. She wasn't sure about launching it. So I wanted to give her a shout out. It has 18 days to go, so you definitely have time to check it out. She is fully funded already. And something a little different, to go along with the comics.
Meredith is awesome, and she really does like a lot of stuff. I mean, like her and her, Rob Anderson, Luke Stone, and Brian K. Morris are part of that new comic publishing that they put together.
Yes.
The Rising Tide Publishing Company.
No, it's right.
It's the indie.
Yeah, the indie comics. Sorry.
I can't remember. It's very funny. I'm looking it up now. My computer's a little slow.
They have a comic company that they just came out with. I think it starts with a T. Russell, can you help me out? I think he knows what I'm talking about.
Probably. I'm looking it up now. Terraform Comics.
Terraform, yeah.
And she also does Geek Insider, which is huge.
Right, yes.
They do a lot of work helping and promoting and sharing. So she wears a lot of different hats, but I wanted to give her a shout out and see if you guys can share, support, sharing the love. A lot of people, we can't all back everything we want to back, unfortunately, but you never know who your contacts will see when you do the shares.
That's true. Like, I will go on Kickstarter and I'll hit the comics section and I'll hit all comics, and then I'll just see the list of every comic that you can back, and it's there's so many.
Well, and I love the fact that in the chat, people just started,
sharing
they
the
kind
links,
of started sharing away the links and talking about, so this is so-and-so's book and you can find her here. And, it was just really, really cool to see that people are putting it out there to
this is what I love about being part of this podcasting community and being part of the creative community is because everybody has been sharing each other's stuff, and it's very uplifting. And, you know, you don't get locally. I've been supporting my friends' comic books for a long time. And speaking of Evan Queering, I've been after interviewing you for a long time. You keep telling me that you have nothing to promote. Your last book has come out. It is time for an interview.
Hey, that's the wrestling comic? I want that book.
It is a Lucha Mystery. He's a local Winnipeg artist. I love his art. I buy it all the time, every time I see him at Comic-Con. And I even got him to draw me up a picture because I love it so much. But he keeps telling me that he has nothing to promote.
I wonder how you can be in this industry and not do well with self-promotion, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't promote anything because I suck. But like he doesn't. And I sometimes think that it's because I work a full-time job, so I just don't have any brain power left. I'm tapped out. But he is here able to do it all day. So, you know, and he doesn't have children screaming at him. So it's actually probably good for him to do it. But I'm like, I feel terrible because I don't share enough. Like, I know that I should get in that social media chat and share everybody's stuff. It's just, I just don't hit the button. But if you really paid attention to my feed recently, there really hasn't been much going on my page either. So, like, I really haven't been on social media. Like, I'm tapped out. I'm done.
What I try to do when I hop in, when somebody's live or I'm getting into something or I see something, I just share it right then and there, because I know if I think I'm going to go back and do it later, it's never going to happen because the kid calls, there's an emergency, there's someone at the door, the phone rings. Then I go back to the project I was doing prior to seeing that, and then I completely forget. So I've been trying to, like, as soon as I say hey in the chat, I try to share it out. I try to, at least then it's out there, or it's in my contacts, or it's on my page or in the group.
So to all of you, I apologize for my
No. Some people are just better at it.
Stagnant sharing.
I always have a phone in my hand or a device in my hand because I'm constantly working on one platform or another. So it's easy. I pop back on Facebook. I do some shares. The only time that I'm really offline is when my son and I are running and, having a day out, or in this world, whatever we can do to escape, and we disconnect. Otherwise, I'm always connected. I can't just sit and watch TV. I'm still working.
Was that the last Kickstarter that we're going to talk about today?
That was it for today.
All right. Well, I look forward to the new ones that we talk about next week.
It was
interesting.
I'll have some more. Brian sends me some, and every once in a while there'll be one that'll hit me just right, that I'm like, we need to back that one.
What'd you think of that?
We need to back that one. Usually he'll back something that he thinks is cool, and then he doesn't always share with me right away until we get it. And so,
well, did you see Squee by April Rena Grady, I believe is how you say it. I have to see if I can cover.
I've seen that one.
I have to cover quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to see that one after we go off.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
Brian did send me one that we did back, right?
Yeah, we did back Thirsty by Pat Shand.
Okay.
And I look forward to seeing that one.
And Brian read it to me, and I was like, I think you need to back that one. And I'm the stingy, like, I really am stingy, because I'm like, Brian, I have all these books that I haven't read yet, and I have all of these movies we haven't watched yet, and I have all these things that I have to do, and I haven't done any of it yet. And I'm like, so you're just adding to the pile. I feel like Ryan, I feel like Brian. And I say, like, there's so many things that I need to try to get done. And I'm like, well, but I still don't get them done. And so he's like, we need to back this one. And I'm like, what is it about? And so he tells me, he's like, okay, so back. I said, fine, then let's back it because I want to read it. And I'm like, man, if I tried to back all of these things, and I'm like, I'm going to die.
This one you don't have to read. It's just all artwork. It's gorgeous stuff that she did for Kinktober. So that's fun. It's one of my favorites. I gotta say, it's absolutely stunning. There's some beautiful work in there. But there's always something for everybody, which is very cool. That's what I like about the Kickstarter.
You said squee?
Yeah, it's already been out, but I'll send you links and see if you can reach her and see if there's anything.
Squee After Dark.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll have to remember that.
I'll send you the information too. I can message it to you.
And Ted, dude, I'm a huge fan of yours now because you're a very talented person, not just for your shows. Your art is fantastic. And you have become like the voice of reason for this world during this mess. And, I'm going to fangirl over you. I'm going to share your stuff because you are amazing.
There's been a lot of very cool and supportive people that have come out, which has been great to get to meet you guys and network because I'm the newbie. So
but you're doing a very good job at sharing everybody's stuff.
Well, thank you.
Comics and more. What you do for all the people that, whether they're an author with a novel or comic books, I mean, their art. You're just sharing. Like, I feel like you're like some of these other people that I know that don't sleep because you're always sharing.
I don't sleep.
Yeah,
I don't sleep. So that kind of works, and I don't have much of a life, so it works even better. Pretty much my life revolves around my son and my mom and a few friends, and I keep very quiet. So I work a lot. I'm here organizing, sorting, and in this situation that we're all in, everybody needs a little push. And I'm coming from a background of owning an online publication, so I've always liked helping the little guys and helping the indies and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so yeah, we're looking at Squee. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Is that your type? Look at Nicole's face. She likes it.
I guess I can't share that on the screen.
No.
I'll look
I like that one.
See, I told you.
That's hot.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Literally.
That's hot. Literally, yeah.
See, I caught her in my feed and saw one of the pictures, and it was a little comment about doing this Kickstarter. I was like, oh, gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. And it's a lot of fun. And you'll have to check it out for more because this is not the show to discuss it.
So I kind of feel bad for Grant because when I was giving away the Beverly Hills Cop, he was like, damn, I came in late. So Grant,
no,
I have 3 movies here and I will let you pick one. I have Logan Lucky, Ocean's 8, and Alita Battle Angel. So go ahead and let me know which one of those you would like.
Oh,
and
you're so nice.
And I'll send that over to you.
Will you shut your hole, dog?
Sorry, Dingo.
So that was fun. Now we're gonna hop into the movies of this year.
I'm now addicted. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful stuff. You have to check her out.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Yeah, go ahead, Grant. Which one did you want? Again, it's Alita Battle Angel, Ocean's 8, or Logan Lucky.
What was the one you sent to me that I thought would be really cool?
It's under text. All right, Grant. I'll look for that later. All right, so now let's hop into the films that are coming out this year. Now, there's so many films that I didn't get all of them, but I got the ones here in front of me that I think we should talk about. But let's address the elephant in the room before we hop into this.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
The whole thing with Warner Brothers and HBO Max, where Warner Brothers just...
Uh-oh.
Lost you.
You have frozen.
And they froze. Hello,
Yep,
are we
there
back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, so we have the HBO Max Warner Brothers thing where they're releasing in theater on HBO Max the same day. What kind of like what they did with Wonder Woman 84, and the way that they went about doing it is that some of the people weren't even informed, especially Legendary Pictures, who funded three of the films, I believe, that are coming out, which is Godzilla vs. Kong and Dune are the two biggest. And when you're a production company and you're told 30 minutes before the public knows, I think that's not a good way of doing business.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. And the director of Dune found out like everyone else. He found out through the news that his film Dune would be released on HBO Max and theaters. And if you have not already, go to variety.com or their Facebook page and look at the full article that he wrote explaining how upset he is. Not only the way that he wasn't told, but as a creator of a film with a huge scope as Dune, finding out that, my movie is going to be on HBO Max and theaters the same day, which he feels will hurt a movie like that because people will just stay home and watch it instead of going to the theaters.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is an argument saying that Warner Brothers basically did this because HBO Max only had like 8-something million subscribers. So they didn't really have a lot of subscribers. So making this announcement would like up the subscriber base. That is the main theory going around. Like people are like, well, what about COVID? Yeah, COVID played a part, but to be honest, I think it is because they want more people to subscribe to HBO Max. So before we talk about the movies, what is your thought process on this whole issue going on? And we'll start with you, Willow.
It sounds like they're purposely trying to be secretive, and I don't know. That's really weird. Like why wouldn't they want full blown communication with their creators and with their content creators? Like that's mind boggling. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, like with the movie Dune, Legendary, who produced, they forked up 75% of the money for that movie. And like I said, they found out 30 minutes prior to Warner Brothers announcing that they were releasing all their films to HBO Max this year.
Is there a reason behind that, or is it just speculation of what actually went on?
Well, the thing is, these are Warner Brothers films, so they're the distributor. So, in all technicality, they can distribute the film however they want because basically it's a Warner Brothers film. But there's still financiers that weren't told, so it's kind of like a coin toss. Like you can see one side, but you can see the other side as well.
I don't know. For me, I've been working for Starbucks for 11 years. If there is an open communication between the management and the staff, it's smooth sailing. But if you're just gonna get all your information the day of when a product comes out, or if there's a sale going on, it adds a lot of stress. And I think that all companies should have open communication with everybody that works for them. To me, that just seems fair. I don't know.
Heather, you want to chime in real quick?
Well, standards matter.
Well, I think that there should be communication and transparency between people and creators. But unfortunately, sometimes there's surprises. Sometimes there's a scramble. The hard thing is we never know what actually happened behind closed doors. So what I see is either they were scrambling because they needed to get money, finances, or something quick that they decided they had to run through. You never know. But I think that by not telling the creators as soon as they knew and the financiers, that that is an issue. They should have said, all right, we made this decision, we're announcing it, but we just made it, here's the information. And give them a minute to process before they get bombarded by the public.
So let's hop into this list here. And, I already, like I said, two of the films is Dune. And
You didn't ask me.
well, I'm trying to move.
I'm kidding.
I mean, if you want to go ahead and say what you think, go ahead.
I mean, I think the creator of whatever art should be able to choose they should be able to choose where it goes. Because I would be really upset if I was an artist and somebody told me I could only use pencil. It's kind of the same thing. It's like you've created this and there's only an audience. And I kind of feel like there are some things you have to see on the big screen. Now, am I going to go see it? No. But does that mean that it shouldn't be an option for everybody at first? Yes. And not getting sideswiped.
The sideswipe is a problem, but at the same time, we don't know what was in their actual contract. When you sign up for the job, you don't know, you read the fine print, because if they say you have to do this project in pencil, whether you like it or not, that's what you agree to in taking that project on. So without knowing all the details, it could be so many different things. I don't think it's handled properly if the creators and the financiers are not, everybody that's involved in it doesn't get the information when that decision was made. Whether they were involved or allowed to be involved in making that decision or not, they should have been notified as soon as it was done, before it was announced to everybody else.
Right. Yeah. So, like I said, Godzilla vs. Kong and Dune are two of those films that will be on HBO Max and theaters. Now, Dune, I seen the original, of course, in the 80s with Sting. I never read the books. And I mean, I know the books are old. I guess the first book came out in like 1965 or something like that. So it's not a new thing. But I've heard that this version of Dune is going to be more of the book. And the director intended this to be a trilogy of films. And one of the things he said in the article that he wrote, that because it's being released on HBO Max and theaters, that it hurts chances for those other two films to come out, because a film of this scope, movies are business. Yeah, I mean, they're made for money, and they're made for, our enjoyment and stuff, but they also need to make that money back. So when, you have people subscribing to HBO Max, they can invite like 20 people over and, pay and just watch it for free at home. Where, at theaters, each person's paying to go see it. That's how money's made for these films. So I don't know if Dune would be on your radar. Are you guys interested in checking out Dune this year?
I might. We'll see, because I'm still teetering on Wonder Woman 1984, whether or not I want to spend the $30 and rent it on my TV, or wait for it to come out on DVD and spend the $30 then. I don't know.
So what about Godzilla vs. Kong? Did you guys see the other two, the 2014 Godzilla and then 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters?
I don't think I've seen those yet. I'm so far behind on movies. It's something I'd like to see. I'm so far behind on TV and movies. I can't keep up with it all.
Another film that is coming out this year is, and once again, a lot of these films were supposed to come out last year, but theaters were closed, and so a lot of the movies were pushed back. Either they were finished and they had nowhere to be, or they didn't get finished production in time because Hollywood was shut down. Is Top Gun Maverick, the sequel to the 1986 Top Gun film.
I'm sorry. I have a very big bias when it comes to that movie. I don't think it necessarily needed a sequel. I know that the first, I'm still like, I understand it was a good movie for its time. It had really good music, but the popularity of it still today kind of still boggles my mind. And it's like, it's on every guy's, list of top 10 movies. And, they have a scene and they're strictly for women to enjoy the eye candy.
What, you don't like volleyball?
Hey, I'm a huge fan of Dead or Alive, so hey, I love volleyball. But I don't know. I don't consider it to be a very good movie to begin with. I don't know. That's just sorry.
It's gonna be interesting because I mean, basically Maverick has been in the Navy all this time, and in real life they're trying to kind of wean out the pilots and do more of the drones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the story of this. Is he comes from that old school of I'm a pilot, and I guess he becomes an instructor, and it's basically pilots versus drones, to see what's going to be the future of the Navy. So that kind of intrigues me. Now, you said soundtrack played a huge part in Top Gun. I mean, it was the 80s, so soundtracks in the 80s films were like hand in hand. I don't know if they can do. I mean, I think soundtrack wise, it'll be more about the score than it will be actual music this time.
Like, are they going to bring back Kenny Loggins and see where? Cool.
I'm interested to see how they do and what they're going to do with it.
Right, and whether you love or hate Tom Cruise, you do have to see that the guy is a good actor.
That's the thing. Like, it's kind of my Charlie Sheen thing. Like, I love Charlie Sheen as an actor. I don't like him as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you hear?
I don't like you as a human, but hey,
did you hear the thing that happened on the set of Mission Impossible in just a couple weeks ago, where he yelled at the people because they broke COVID protocol?
Okay. I fully support him on that. Okay, I know a lot of people went, "Oh, typical Tom Cruise crazies." No, I would have snapped myself too if I was around people who weren't following COVID precautions.
And the thing is, that wasn't a diva moment, because he's in the Mission Impossible film, but he's also a producer on that film. So that was him yelling as a boss, because the main thing he said was, we have people in Hollywood, and I'm not going to use what exactly he said, but we have people in Hollywood looking at us. We're the gold standard. He wants Hollywood to come back, and he believes Hollywood could work in COVID as long as we follow protocols. And so when he was going off on these people, he's like, Hollywood's looking at us because if we can do it, that means other studios and other films can do it too. And when they make mistakes like this, it shows them that, well, maybe we're not ready to go back to work yet. That's what I got from that rant, I guess you would say. So moving on from Tom Cruise and Top Gun, we have Ghostbusters Afterlife is coming out this year.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, this is the long-awaited Ghostbusters 3. Paul Rudd is in this film, which I think Paul Rudd as an actor fits in this universe.
I do too.
So is this something you guys are looking forward to? I mean, are you a fan of the Ghostbusters?
Oh, I'm a huge Ghostbuster fan. I don't know. Joe every now and then will when we go to his parents' place, he'll bring out his Ghostbuster toys and be like, "Hey, this is what I have," and it's like stuff that I wanted to collect when I was a kid. He has, so I'm just like, this is awesome. So,
what about you, Heather? You like Ghostbusters?
I do. I like the Ghostbusters. I did not love when they did the remake with the ladies. as much as I love to see. I like the older ones.
I like the lady one.
It was okay, but I love the original ones. So, I will probably watch it when I get to it.
I feel like you have to enjoy it differently. Like, you had to enjoy the female version differently than you could enjoy.
Can we just say that Chris Hemsworth stole that movie, though?
Yeah, but they made him an idiot.
Thank you. Like, I wish they didn't make him an idiot because it would have been a little bit better. But
yes, you're pretty and the glasses are sexy, but you're an idiot.
Because they didn't do that with Janine. They didn't make her a ditz. I loved her.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved her. Her attitude, the whole,
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
Yeah. It's kind of how I want to answer this one anyway.
Yeah. So this film, go ahead. Who was
No, go ahead.
All right. So this film, I'm totally looking forward to. If you love video games, I think you'll love this. It's called Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. He plays, he's a non-playable character in a video game. So he, his character, does the same thing over and over because that's what the non-playable characters do until he figures out that he doesn't want to do the same thing anymore. So he starts looking and acting differently. Like he wants to be part of that world of the video game he's in.
And AI becoming self-aware. That I love that idea.
Yeah. So this movie originally was supposed to come out last year in, I believe, December, but it got pushed into the summer, I believe, of this year. Come on, video game movie, Ryan Reynolds, you have me right there.
You got me at Ryan Reynolds. I'm done.
Exactly. I'm good.
I don't care what he's doing.
And if you have not already, go on YouTube and look at the trailer that they just released a few weeks ago on Free Guy. It's hilarious.
That's Ryan Reynolds. You're gonna get your typical Ryan Reynolds attitude in this film, which is amazing. I love him.
Exactly.
Well, see, Grant here says it sounds like Wreck-It Ralph. Kinda. Grant, I don't know if you saw the trailer. I guess if you were explaining it, I guess it kind of sounds like
it sounds like Wreck-It Ralph when you explain it that way, but I think maybe it's Wreck-It Ralph for adults, because he's snarky and because it's that kind of humor. I love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, his character.
Nice to you, Willow. He's my favorite Canadian.
So, hey, he will always be Canadian's ass, so I can't compete with that.
I agree.
Yeah. So basically, his character in the game is a bank teller, if I'm not mistaken. So every time the whoever's playing the game, they come in and they rob the bank or whatever. So he's just standing behind the thing watching it, happen over and over and over again. So I think it's going to be hilarious. Speaking of other 80s films that are getting a sequel, this was originally supposed to be in theaters, but Paramount sold it to Amazon for $125 million, and it comes out in March, and that's Coming to America, which is the sequel.
The sequel.
Yeah. It has pretty much all the returning cast, including a few new faces. Wesley Snipes is going to be in there. He plays some Zamunda general or something like that.
Did you almost say Wakanda?
I almost said Wakanda. Yeah,
he wanted to.
I've been waiting for a Coming to America sequel. It looked funny, the trailer. I don't know if it's 30 years too late, but the barbershop characters are still in the movie. They're still played by Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I don't know. Are you guys a fan of the original?
I'm going to have to rewatch because I may have missed a bunch. A lot of it is not it's not up in my head right now to remember any of the goings on, but I definitely want to rewatch it before I see the new one.
So basically, the story of this one is James Earl Jones, who plays his father, the king, is ill, and I believe it passes away. And before Eddie Murphy's character could become king, he or like the next ruler of the throne, they have to have a child or whatever, and he finds out that he has a child in Queens, New York, like that he didn't know about. So they have to go back to Queens and find his long lost son. So
interesting.
Yeah, and like I said, this is going to be on Amazon Prime, and from the trailer that was released, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, it's still that same Eddie Murphy, that it's like it's rated R. It's like the characters that they play are basically the same characters that they played. Like even Sexual Chocolate, the band from Coming to America, is back. And awesome. The Artistudio Hall, when he played the like, what was he, like a pastor or whatever, he was on stage. Mm-hmm. So it's good that they're putting the makeup on and playing these characters. I just wanted the story of Coming to America makes zero sense to me. It's funny. I mean, it's 80s comedy.
It's just meant to be, it's typical Eddie humor. Eddie humor. There you go.
Eddie Murphy humor.
Because Eddie Murphy was part of SNL, is it kind of an SNL film, or is it?
No, Coming to America was like his own. It was their own character. It had nothing to do with SNL. Okay. I mean, there was characters he did on SNL that probably, well, not influenced now, but back then could have been made into a film. But yeah, he hasn't really done anything like outside of SNL, like characters. I'm taking them outside, like Will Ferrell has. Let's see here. Another sequel that we're getting is, depending on how you follow this series, it's called Halloween Kills, which is the sequel to the 2018 Halloween, which basically John Carpenter and everybody says that is the true Halloween 3. This picks up right as the last one that just came out ended. They've already test screened this one because this film is done. A lot of these films are what they call in the can, but because of theaters being closed, they were pushed back a year. The test screenings, anybody that saw this film, of course, they can't talk about it, but the little that they can has been like 100% positive. I don't know if you guys are looking forward to this Halloween. Did you see the 2018 film?
I haven't. I don't watch a lot of horror.
Maybe I should just
go ahead,
out of it, but I'm just. They don't need to. Why? Maybe I need to have a discussion with Kevin and all the other horror movie fanatics, because my views on this is it was fine the way it was. Like, I loved Halloween, I loved Friday the 13th, and I loved Nightmare on Elm Street. Them remaking it now makes no sense to me.
Well, the thing is, this is not a remake. Like, the Halloween that came out in 2018 was a continuation of the original Halloween. They don't need
to do that, though. It's like they're completely ignoring the fact that it went on for like 13 or 14 movies, maybe more, and then they're completely ignoring all that happened, and they're like, "Oh, this is the real story," and it's like, no, we've already gone through that. And you want to go through that again?
Well, if you know the history of Halloween, the original plan was after John Carpenter did the first one, he wanted to continue making Halloweens, but Michael Myers was only going to be in the first one. He wanted each Halloween movie to be like a separate story, an anthology. So when he was, the studios have come to him and said, "Hey, we want you to make a Halloween 2." He wrote the script for Halloween 2, which came out, I believe, in 1981, and he didn't want to do what another Michael Myers story, so he was kind of forced into it because the studio wanted Michael Myers. So that's what ended up happening. And so when they did the 2018 film, he wanted to make what how Halloween 2 would have really been with the Michael Myers character. Like, because Halloween 2 originally made like Jamie Lee's character and Michael brother and sister, but that was never the plan. So when they did the Halloween a couple years ago that follows the first film, they're not brother and sister. And that's the way that John Carpenter wants it. He's just a crazy guy that just went on a killing spree. And so if you remember how the 2018 film ended with Michael in the burning house and Jamie Lee with her daughter and her granddaughter driving in the back of a pickup truck driving off. And the trailer that they released for Halloween Kills, you hear sirens and you see them in the back of the truck, and the fire trucks and ambulances drive by, and Jamie Lee's like, "What are you doing? No, let them burn." So we know shit's gonna hit the fan in this film. People is basically calling Halloween Kills the Empire Strikes Back of the Halloween franchise. If you remember, Empire Strikes Back in Star Wars was very dark.
Okay, I'll give it a shake, but I don't think it is necessary. But I don't know. I'll watch it because it's a horror movie.
And then we're getting A Quiet Place 2, which that first film was really good. I don't know. Have you seen that one, Heather?
I haven't seen it.
It's really good.
It is so good.
Yeah, it's John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. John Krasinski directed it, and it did so well that they decided that they wanted to do a sequel, and he's coming back, and I believe he wrote and I think he's directing the sequel, and Emily Blunt's back. They're doing a sequel to Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That's coming out.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes.
And we got the reboot of Candyman, which is being done by Jordan Peele. He's producing it. And if you saw Get Out and Us,
I'm excited for that. I really did enjoy the original Candyman, and I think seeing something different might actually entice the horror community to make their own stuff. Hopefully, eventually.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to Jordan Peele talk, like, he doesn't just make movies just to make movies. All of his, like I said, if you watch Get Out or Us, there's a message there. And he's as a black filmmaker, he wants to tell powerful stories that hit you in all those spots and make you think about real life stuff without like really shoving it down your throat, if that makes sense.
Well, and he did get a little bit of crap for his conversation about how I'm not casting white actors.
But it was taken out of context.
And I was like, this is unfair when he says that, though. I mean, like, for them to get on him, because if you're telling a story, then the color of the people don't necessarily matter if you're telling a good story. Like, people are going to watch it no matter what. Like, they don't care if it's a black actor versus a white actor. Like, I feel like
I may have missed like the context of like I try very hard not to watch any trailers and not to look in the behind the curtain of
After I saw the movie, I was like, that's really cool. Like he put this spin on these, like, and they were very thought-provoking movies. Like, that there is an ulterior motive to what he's trying to say, but he's not preaching it at us. He's just shining a light on it, which is interesting. And he did it with all, essentially all Black actors, which was amazing because he showcased all of this talent you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah.
And so they had so in an interview, he had said something, and he had said that I don't intend on casting white people in my movies
as leads.
That's
where.
And I was like, well, he has every right to do that. It's his movie.
Well, yeah.
And he's not, it's never, like, I've never felt like the only reason somebody got cast is because they were a Black actor. I felt like it was important to the story to cast a certain person the way they casted it. So I was like, it never occurred to me that it would be a thing. I'm like, so?
But
okay.
A lot of people will hear this, and I got it on my page the other day when I wrote that, and I said Black Lives Matter, Aboriginal Life Matter, blah, blah, blah. People automatically think that when they hear I will only hire Black actors or whatever, they think that we're purposely trying to separate each other from others. And it's like, that's not the case at all. I understand where he's coming from, and there is a lot of Black actors out there that need their fair shake in Hollywood, and they are not getting it.
And I want to see them showcased in these roles that are character driven and not just token people. Like I feel like a lot of the times when we cast people of ethnic backgrounds, that we tokenize them. Like we're like, well, I got one in my movie, so I'm good. And I just kind of feel like that is the wrong way to go. When we want to see them living real life and doing character, like there's room for everybody in the world of Hollywood. And I think that if you want to see it, it's not going to matter who the character is, as long as they're putting out an incredible performance. And I personally, I didn't like Get Out as much as I liked Us, but that's a me thing. Like
Get Out was really creepy, and I liked it because of that reason. I
liked it too. I liked Us better. I don't know if it was like the family dynamic, or I don't know. I just liked it better. And I mean, everybody's whatever is up to them. Like your perspective is your truth, and I don't have a problem with that. It's just that it's like, if he's telling a good story, who cares who's in it? Like, let's showcase people because they're talented, not showcase people just because of the color of their skin or the lack of color in their skin. Like, I don't see why. I mean, if you're going to tell a story, though, like, this is my only caveat to that. Like, if you're going to tell a story and it's about a Korean American family, then you can cast Korean Americans. Like,
thank you.
Don't fucking cast somebody else. Like, if you're going to have a movie that is driven by natives playing werewolves, for fuck's sake, then every single person that's a native better be a fucking native. Like, God, don't make them Asian.
I agree with you completely. And
there's enough people in the world that are that ethnic, background that could be that character.
Well,
sorry, that was
moving on.
Yeah,
no,
moving
I
on.
agree with
So,
you.
Speaking of casting people that for the roles, they're doing a Mortal Kombat film, and it is rated R, and going to be more
Excellent.
true to the game than the original 95 film, which a lot of people still love that film, as cheesy as it is.
The first
I
one
like
was
that
great.
film.
The second one, not so much.
There was a second one?
Yeah.
I mean, of all the things we do not see,
Unfortunately.
right?
Yeah. So, Mortal Kombat, which is a Warner Brothers film, will be released on HBO Max as well as theatrical the same day. And it looks really good from the cast. A lot of Asians are cast in this film, which is really
Okay.
cool. Another film that's coming out this year is the third Conjuring film, and it is titled "The Devil Made Me Do It." I have to say, I love this series. Patrick Wilson.
I really do too. And I'm going to kill myself on this because I hate possession movies. I really do. Like, I love haunted object movies, but I don't like possession movies. But I was like, I really like the idea of this movie.
All right, before we move on, Heather has to hop off. So, Heather, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
And
it. It was
we
a lot
look
of
forward
fun.
to Kickstarter next week.
The next Kickstarter.
Yes. And then I'll be live tomorrow night, right from my profile, Heather Ellen, and I share it into Comics and More New Jersey and Comics and More Chaos, and we'll talk about what you've got going on at 10 p.m. Eastern. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Heather.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Yeah, so that's awesome that we can do the Kickstarter thing. I think that's going to be good for the show and good for.
I think we need to pull. We need to get on the pull list thing, and we need to start reviewing things that we've read, provided I ever get to read again.
Yeah. I actually just got a book from one of my writer friends, author Michaela Jade. She sent me her stuff, so I have to read that. And
I have it too, and I haven't read it. Like when she was on the show, she's like, "I'll send you the PDF," and I'm like, "Okay, great." And then I'm like, "Oh crap, I need to read that too." That's on the list of a million things I have to read. I'm like, "Oh my god."
So, the Conjuring possession films.
I love Patrick Wilson, so it's hard for me not to watch something he is in and be extremely excited about whatever he's doing.
But these were legit major jump.
And these were and they're scary. Like maybe not so much Annabelle, like it was a little creepy, but like the freaking Nun, that movie scared the bejesus out of me. Like it really did. I jumped quite a few times. And then I was a little bit like, there were a couple nights where I had some messed up dreams. Yeah. I was like, "Ew."
But this third film, also a Warner Brothers film, will also be on HBO Max the same day it hits theaters. Another film that's coming out from Disney is Raya and the Last Dragon, which actually is going to be released on Disney Plus.
Okay.
And it's also going to be in theaters. This looks like a cute little film. I believe it's a Pixar film. I'm not quite sure if it's Pixar or Disney Animation, but it's an Asian inspired story. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with Disney Animation either way. So,
yeah,
a film that basically was moved a few times last year is Jungle Cruise with The Rock and Emily Blunt. So Disney decided that this year they're just going to release it on Disney Plus. That looks like going to be a fun movie.
I think anything that he's in is a fun movie. I mean, I know that people don't like it and they don't see him as a good actor. And it's like, okay, well, he's not the greatest actor in the world, but he's funny. So if you just want an hour and a half to escape, I mean, that's really what you want to do, is escape from the world.
Hey, Gary, why don't you hop on if you have time? There's just something about The Rock. Like, he has something.
I'm enjoying some of his action films. I don't know. I feel like he sold his soul to Disney a long time ago, and he just keeps popping out these weird family films. I don't know. I kind of want to see him do like a really awesome action film, but that's just me personally.
Well, I mean, he did Skyscraper a couple years ago. That was pretty cool. And then before that, he did that earthquake movie called Andreas. That was San Andreas. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
There's another film coming out this year. I love G.I. Joe, so they're doing a Snake Eyes film, and it stars Henry Golden. I believe that's his last name. He's from he's from Crazy Rich Asians, and then he was just in this film called Last Christmas.
Okay.
He was the lead Asian guy in Crazy Rich Asians.
Hence Crazy Rich. Why did you didn't have to say that?
Well, yeah, it's like you were thinking there's a lot of people in it.
I was trying to see like his face, and I just couldn't. Like, I don't hear his name. I just, I saw the movie. I don't know. Whatever. Here's the point. And I don't know what it is.
For those that love video games and Tom Holland, we're going to get an Uncharted film. Finally, after years and years and years saying Uncharted was coming, Tom Holland is playing Nathan Drake, but I believe that they also cast Mark Wahlberg to be in this film.
I'm dumb, and I totally don't know what that is.
It's a PlayStation game.
Well, I know that, but I'm like...
Think of like Indiana Jones. It's like an adventure film. Or like Tomb Raider, he's like a treasure seeker.
As an Uncharted fan, as the resident Uncharted fan, because I love playing PlayStation games, every fan who has played this game and we've been wanting this for a very, very long time, a movie of Uncharted. We all asked for Nathan Fillion to play Nathan Drake. Okay.
Yes. But what they're doing is they're doing they want to go younger. I mean, Nathan Fillion's good. He's busy with The Rookie as well, which is a great show. But yeah, I understand. But he did do that short that's on YouTube.
Yeah, we're asking for more. We want to see a continuation. But yeah, like we were excited that we finally got our like fan service from that. But my husband would agree. Like with Tom Holland as Nathan Drake is too young, personally. And I'm sorry.
Well, they're going for a younger.
I understand they're going for a younger audience, and they're going for a younger character.
They can go for a younger audience, but what they want to turn it into is a franchise for sure. Because if it's going to make money, the first one, they want to have options to be able to play to make another one, and that's why they want to find somebody younger than Nathan Fillion, because at some point he's not going to be able to do that.
I mean, how old? Like, I think he's got to be around 50 or so. Nathan Fillion.
He's slightly older than us. So,
yeah.
I mean, like, if you, in the grand scheme of things, yes, I understand. Is okay. And Tom Holland is not as young as he looks. So, yes, he does look younger. And then it blows your mind when you see him in movies. Like, what was the one that we saw him in? And I was like, what the hell? It was like, that's not Peter Parker.
But no, like, wow. And the character in the video games is in his 30s. I understand that. I just, you know what? I just.
But I get what you're saying. I really do.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I was hoping to see Nathan Fillion in the spot.
Well, it's kind of a prequel before the first game, so.
Yeah, my husband says it's a prequel to the first game, so we'll see where this goes.
Yeah. So another film coming out this year that is also going to be released on HBO Max is the hybrid live-action animation Tom and Jerry. Yeah, I don't know who really clamored for a Tom and Jerry film. I mean, Tom and Jerry is great, but I saw the trailer and I wasn't impressed.
They're I don't know. I don't know if I'll see it. Like if it was an anime one, then I'd say yes. But I don't know.
And then we're getting another Sony Marvel film, which may or may not be part of the MCU, but based on the trailer, I think it is, and that's Morbius. Morbius, the living vampire, which is played by
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
I don't hate the casting, but I'm kind of one of those people like, who the fuck asked for a Morbius movie? I mean, like, it's the same as who the fuck asked for a Venom movie if you weren't going to have Spider-Man in it. I understand that, but although Tom Hardy was fucking awesome.
2 questions. One, are we going to see Felicia Hardy as Black Cat? A Black Cat situation with the love interest for Morbius. And 2, will this be lead into Blade?
Maybe. I mean, because in the trailer we
Hope, right?
did see that Michael Keaton, who played the Vulture in the first Spider-Man Homecoming, he's in Morbius. So this is where we see that.
Good thing Ryan's not on the show because he would get mad at me. But meh. Sorry, Michael Keaton's Vulture was meh.
But it's cool that we're seeing more characters in the MCU, and it's nice to see 2 studios, Sony and Disney, working together. This is something that Hollywood just doesn't really do. Like, you don't see this happen. It's a win-win for both. I mean, they're lining their pockets with money. I mean, Spider-Man Far From Home made $1 billion. So...
Like, I know there was rumors of there being a Blade coming back, but I mean, this leads into
there is a Blade movie coming out. They hired an actor to play Blade. It's Mahershala Ali. He was in the Green Book.
Okay.
I was trying to think of Mahershala Ali. That's how you say his name. But he was also in the Netflix series Luke Cage. He played Cottonmouth, the owner of the nightclub. Another film that's coming out that we heard talked about on John Campea is The Little Things with Denzel Washington. That was the film that's coming on HBO Max, where it's like a serial killer, I think.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look it up again. I was like, Denzel Washington again? Yes, please. I will watch a Denzel Washington movie. Like, I mean, those things, like, there are certain people you're like, I don't care who's in it. I don't care what it's about. If it's got that person in it, I'll watch it. Like, I don't care what the movie is about. I'll watch Ryan Reynolds in the movie.
Denzel Washington is a great actor, though.
And that's the thing.
So he is amazing.
He's the type of actor, even if the movie sucks, he
doesn't suck.
That's right. There's not many actors that you can say, like, you know, that movie sucked, but hey, I like that actor in that role. He like killed it, or she killed it. And then this year we're finally getting No Time to Die, which is the final Daniel Craig James Bond film. Not the final James Bond film, just the final one with Daniel Craig, which I've kind of liked Daniel Craig as James Bond. I thought he was good. I mean, if you're a fan of the books, he kind of brings a little bit of everything. Like, every actor that's played James Bond, you got people that like, well, Sean Connery's the best, or they like Roger Moore or Pierce Brosnan or whatever. And even though he didn't really get a lot of chance to play, you know, some people like Timothy Dalton, but Daniel Craig, he brought like the action part of James Bond, but he also brought the swag. So he kind of mixed on how James Bond was. Yeah. So I know a lot of people were looking forward to this film. The villain is played by, he played Freddie Mercury in the Queen biopic, and he's from Mr. Robot. Rami Malek. Rami Malek plays the villain in this film, which should be interesting because he's a great actor as well. And of course, we're getting Black Widow, which was supposed to be out in May of last year.
Finally,
yes.
I really am really excited about this one too.
I want to see this succeed, so I will most likely, as soon as it comes out, I will definitely rent it the day of when it comes out.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna make this face, but Fast 9. This movie was supposed to be out last year around the same time as Black Widow. I think this movie was supposed to come out in April of last year.
That's $999.
But it's interesting because the villain in this, based on the trailer, is John Cena.
Who cares?
Well, it's just interesting to see John Cena as a villain.
I'm sorry. It's going to be just like Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo. It's going to be weird.
I think he'll be able to pull it off, but, The Rock is going to be in it, right?
No, The Rock is not in this one because he was in Hobbs and Shaw. But he will be in the next Fast movie.
Because we need another one. I mean, why not? Let's round it out to an even 10.
But
people are cheap. Fast cars, pretty ladies, we're going to buy the movie ticket. What the hell?
But these make money. I understand. It's just, come on. Really? I mean, if you guys were executives and you saw dollar signs, Fast 8 made money. All right, let's make a Fast 9. Oh, Fast 9 we made $1 billion. Of course you're going to greenlit another one.
Okay, but I'm on the camp of people who are like, thank God Supernatural had 15 seasons, and I get why people are like, why didn't they just cancel it? Whatever. I get it.
If I was on the board, there would be an awesome X-Men film.
Don't worry.
I mean,
trust Kevin Feige. There's going to be an awesome X-Men movie
at some point. Well, we waited this long. Why not?
Yeah. So another film coming out next year, which I think you might be looking forward to, is In the Heights, which is based on the Broadway show by Lin. How do you say his name?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes.
I can't even say it.
If you're a fan of Hamilton and all of the stuff that he's done musically, I mean, he did the music for Moana and Mary Poppins Returns.
I will be watching that movie. I couldn't remember if we'd seen the trailer for it, but I do remember him, and I would be like, "Yep, we're there." I'm there. I don't know if Brian is, but I'll be there. Mostly because I just think that he has a fresh take on things. There's honest, cool storytelling that happens with him. And the thing that's really cool is I really liked Alexander Hamilton in the first place. I did a report on him when I was in high school or in middle school, but he made it fun and he made it relevant to what we would want to watch now. And I think that there's that nice element of storytelling when you're telling a story that you really bring this fresh life to. And I'm I was excited about Hamilton. I enjoyed it. And I will enjoy this too, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I know you don't even know about this character. You've never read this character, but you're excited for it because of who stars in it as the lead.
Okay, so
the next film on the list here is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is an MCU film. He's a Marvel character.
I know nothing about Shang-Chi. I know nothing about this Marvel character at all. However, Kim's Convenience, Sumi Lee?
Yeah, I believe it's just...
I'm probably saying it wrong because no Asian name is done any justice by an American saying it.
But he plays the son in Kim's Convenience, which is a Canadian show, an awesome Canadian show.
It is an amazing show. It is so funny, and he is a beautiful man. A beautiful specimen of man.
I love how you guys are watching all the Canadian shows and telling me about it.
I think it's because we aspire to watch smart television, and Canada's the only place.
But
do you
watch Kim's Convenience?
I honestly, I don't. I have to.
So
I have to sit down and watch a lot of shit. But It is something that I should probably watch.
Yeah. So this film is directed by an Asian. It is the cast is mostly Asian, and this is an Asian character, Shang-Chi. So this is going to be the first for Marvel, and it's nice to see that the Asians are going to be represented in superhero film, and not be like token, like the token Asian character. Another film coming out this year is a sci-fi action war film called The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. And it is about humans battling aliens that come to Earth. But here's the twist. Scientists have created a way to go back and take the best people from past wars and bring them to help them fight the aliens.
Okay.
Sounds interesting?
Sounds like a lot of sci-fi films, yep.
Sounds like more than my brain can handle right now.
But I had you at Chris Pratt.
Had me at Chris Pratt. So and I'm not into aliens either. Like I am a werewolf vampire ghost girl.
But you did like that alien film with Battle Los Angeles with
Battle for LA.
I
did enjoy that movie, but it wasn't about aliens, it was about the humans, so that's probably why. But no, we saw The Fourth Kind and I was just done with alien movies after that.
Yeah.
Like I was like, nope.
And
it was the only one I watched, and then I was like, no.
Well, Fire in the Sky back in the day probably
scared the fuck out of me. I was done. I was like, I can't go. I'm going to live in a metal box, and the metal box would get abducted because I was terrified.
So
aliens scare me more than ghosts.
Moving on, we entered the DC universe. The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn on HBO Max. All right, it's James Gunn.
Gunn. Okay. I'll give it.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Guys, I've watched Birds of Prey. It was good. Okay. There was some really awesome fighting scenes. You guys need to read it.
I enjoyed Birds of Prey. I wish it was Birds of Prey. They really should have called it Harley Quinn. It didn't need to be Birds of Prey. Like, who cares? No. They were secondary characters. It didn't need to be Birds of Prey. It could have just been Harley Quinn. But Harley Quinn does Manhattan. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to go out of the limb here and say that this Suicide Squad is going to be DC's Guardians of the Galaxy because it's James Gunn. James Gunn came in and wrote and directed this film, and the cast is amazing. Of course, Margot Robbie is coming back as Harley Quinn, but John Cena is in it.
Job.
Yeah, John Cena is in it. Nathan Fillion is in it.
Okay. It's looking up.
Idris
now you messed me up.
Idris
Elba.
Elba is in it. I mean, the cast is amazing. Even his brother is in it.
It might be the saving grace that it needs.
Yeah. And DC needs a big
DC
hit.
needs a win.
Yeah. I mean,
Aquaman.
Well,
they haven't had a win since Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, DC's biggest wins were, I'd say, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. I think people liked those three films.
But not Wonder Woman.
I watched Shazam last night. It's still a great movie.
I love Shazam.
Yeah,
I was like, people were like, I don't like that movie, and I'm like, you guys are dumb.
And then we're getting.
What did he say?
I don't know. He's trying to talk to me from the crapper, so I don't know.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to this sequel because the first one was funny. It's another Ryan Reynolds film starring Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. It is The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. If you've seen if you've seen The Hitman's Bodyguard, it is hilarious.
So fucking funny.
Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds. That's all I got to say.
Did they shut us off? Because I
no,
we're not being careful of my mouth. I just realized that's like the fourth time I've said that.
No, but this looks really good. if you have not, go back and watch that first film.
It's
It's hilarious.
Okay.
I laughed so hard I peed.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
And then also coming out this year is Death on the Nile, which is the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gal Gadot is in it.
I'm sorry. I just did not enjoy that movie as much as I should have.
Yeah. We're for the animated stuff. We're getting a sequel to the Addams Family, which that animated.
It's the CGI animated.
Yeah, the CGI animated one.
It was good. We had fun watching it.
Yeah,
and the kids liked it too. I think we watched it twice.
Yeah.
Which is strange for Oliver because he actually watched the whole thing twice.
Another kids movie coming out this year is Clifford the Big Red Dog, which is a live action animated film.
okay. Wow. The fact that it took them this long to actually do that is shocking.
It is kind of.
I can see that being something for like being a popular kids movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Clifford growing up. I mean, Clifford is I probably read all the books.
I think I preferred Mr. Muggs over Clifford, but that's just me. Is that a dating thing?
I still prefer Curious George over Clifford. So
You know what? I'll add in Paddington Bear.
I don't know. I wasn't really a Paddington fan. Winnie the Pooh, maybe.
Clifford the Big Red Dog had a cute cartoon though.
Yeah, it did have a good cartoon.
Yeah.
And I was the Berenstain Bears girl, actually.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I'm surprised that they haven't made a Berenstain Bears movie.
I am too.
But I had to throw this out there because I mentioned Paddington. Paddington Bear, the two movies, are the only part 1 and part 2 that has 100% on Rotten Tomato. That means
Weird.
Every critic that watched the first one liked it, and every critic that watched the second one liked it, and the audience score is just as high as the critic score. Yeah,
it was a good movie though.
Yeah, there are. The next films that we got coming out here, we got King Richard, which is a Will Smith film. He plays the father of Serena and Venus Williams. So it's about his life and them entering tennis and all that. So that should be interesting. I mean, it's Will Smith. He's a pretty decent actor, I think. Are you a Will Smith fan?
I love him. He is a great actor. He's a better actor than he is a singer or rapper.
Yeah. I do too. I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
And then, I mentioned Mission Impossible 7 is coming out. And then another musical, which is a Steven Spielberg film, West Side Story, is coming out this year. That should be an interesting one. And it's not set in modern times. It actually is set in the 50s. So even better. And Matrix 4 is coming out. I mean, I guess more Keanu Reeves, the better. I mean, I'm not a Matrix fan, really. I didn't think Matrix was all that good, but Keanu Reeves is popular again, so why not, I guess. The third Spider-Man film is coming out this year, which is crazy. It is a connected story between WandaVision, Doctor Strange 2, and then Spider-Man 3. They're doing a sequel to the film Sing, which was a cute animated film. You like Sing, right? They're doing Hotel Transylvania 4 is coming out this year.
Oh, wow.
I actually like that franchise.
I really do. I did too.
I love the first one. I haven't really actually watched the third one yet, so I don't know.
The third one is when they go on the cruise ship. That one is a good one.
That one's good. It's funny.
Yeah.
I don't say blah, blah, blah.
The other Marvel film that's coming out this year is The Eternals, which was supposed to come out in November of last year, but
I don't know anything really about the characters. I really don't.
Yeah. It's Marvel wants to do more cosmic stuff, so these are cosmic characters. So I mean,
oh, good. Let's go to space some more.
It worked for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was okay with that, and I'm okay with Star Wars, but I don't know. Like, again, with the aliens thing, I'm not a big aliens fan.
Yeah. And then we're also getting a sequel to Boss Baby, which that movie kind of came out of nowhere.
It was cute movie. It was a really cute movie. I don't know. I saw the trailer for the second one, and I'll reserve judgment when I actually do see it, but I don't know. I still am convinced it didn't need a second one.
And then this one, I can't believe I'm saying Space Jam 2, The New Legacy.
Who are they going to get?
No, it's done. It's filmed. It's done. It's ready.
Why? Why?
It's
why?
You want to know who's in it? It's what people are referring to as the GOAT of basketball. And his team just won the NBA championship. He can't decide if he's going to be with Cleveland or Miami or Los Angeles.
Whoever pays him more. Wherever he gets more court time. Wherever people are paying attention to him, that's where he'll be. Because he's a whore.
Are you going to say his name?
No. He's like Harry Potter. I don't want to say his name. We do not speak his name in this house. Especially after he dicked over the Cavaliers.
Anyways, it's LeBron James.
Yes, Ryan, we go long.
But Ryan,
now I sound like Christian Basil. Shit.
No, but that's, and then there's a couple other films that are coming out. They're doing a sequel to Peter Rabbit, which I thought was pretty.
Okay, the first one was cute.
It was a cute movie. Yeah.
I mean, there's something about what's his name? James Corden. He's just got like,
I don't know why he's endearing. Like, you kind of like him. You're like,
he's a very charming guy, and he does sing very well.
Yeah, and there's a film that was supposed to hit theaters, but Disney decided to just put it on Disney Plus, and that's Cruella, which is Emily Stone.
Oh,
or Emma Stone.
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah,
Emma Stone as Cruella. Yeah. But mostly because I really did like Cruella. Aside from Maleficent, she is my second favorite Disney villain. Like, she is way better than the Queen. Although the Queen is on everything. But yeah.
But this is going to be an interesting film. And then a couple other Disney films. Luca, which you saw at the Disney thing. It's the Italian animated film.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Anything that has to do with Italy.
Excited.
Yeah. And then this one,
anything that has to do with Italy.
Yeah. Do you want to pronounce this one? This is Encanto, which is I believe.
I mean, that's all the syllables. I don't know if I actually put the stress in the right place, but it's Encanto.
Yeah, Encanto is, I want to say it's an enchanted.
That's what the word means. It's enchanted.
Mexican, right?
Spanish.
Hair somewhere, something like that.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Ryan, we're almost done here, and we're not. I was just. This is not even the full list. I'm just going by some of the stuff that.
Oh, we're almost done.
Yeah. This one doesn't have a title, but there's an untitled Elvis biopic, and it stars Tom Hanks.
Because we don't all know the story of Elvis. Like, I don't know why this is a thing.
Well, they've never really done an Elvis biopic like for theaters. I mean, there was a TV film done by John Carpenter with Kurt Russell, which is a great film. Go back and watch it.
What? We know the story.
Well, we got Tom Hanks.
I get the Freddie Mercury thing. Like, we didn't really know Freddie Mercury's story. Okay. Bravo, Rami Malek. Good for you. I liked the movie. But let's rehash Elvis one more time. It's like another Marilyn Monroe biopic. Do we need one? No, we don't. We know the story.
But
Humble beginnings in Tupelo, Mississippi.
but anyways,
Cadillacs.
Tom
Hanks. Sorry.
Tom Hanks plays Colonel Tom Parker, who
I'll be nice,
was his
I'm sorry.
manager. I mean, it's going to be interesting just to see what they do with it. I mean, yeah, everybody knows the story of Elvis.
I know you're a bigger Elvis fan, yeah.
Another film that has
we need a pot of coffee.
another film coming out has multiple sequels, but this one is interesting because of who's doing it. It's called Spiral from the Book of Saul. It's a Chris Rock film. He actually came up with this film. He's producing it and he's starring in it. And Samuel L. Jackson is also in this film. Chris Rock plays a police detective who's solving these mystery murders that are going on. But it's interesting because it's a Saul film, but to have the main character be an African American police detective is a different take on it. So, I mean, I do have to say the first Saw movie is great. The twist nobody saw. When you got the two characters in the room locked together with the dead body, so they thought who wasn't dead. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the film, it's been out for almost 20 years.
Great. There you go, Eli Roth. Here's your next documentary, 20 Years of Saw.
We're getting roasted in the comments right now.
Yeah. But this film I'm actually looking forward to. It's called Red.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
And here we go. This is a Netflix film.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be harassing you.
Produced
Yes,
originally for Universal to release theatrical, but they just decided to sell it to Netflix, and Netflix is releasing it. It's called Red Notice. It stars The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot.
Oh.
You said Ryan Reynolds. I'm there. I'm telling you, I love Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
This
is the year of Ryan Reynolds. Woo!
Well, first of all, it's
the year of Canada's ass.
Yes.
Well, it's funny because Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are the two highest paid actors in Hollywood, and they're in the same film.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. And then you got Gal Gadot, who is pretty popular. I mean, Wonder Woman put her on the map. I mean,
I really want to see her as somebody else, as someone else.
So, Red Notice is about a thief, and The Rock plays, I believe, a CIA agent that's tracking this thief, and the thief, I believe, is Ryan Reynolds.
Huh.
And they go to museums and steal really expensive stuff. So. It should be interesting.
Okay.
Yes. I believe Netflix is probably going to release this in the summer so that they have some kind of summer movie that people are talking about. But there's no official release date. Just that it's coming sometime this year. But those are just some of the films coming out. Now, before we do end the show, I do want to talk about the movie theaters. Do you think people are going to go back to the movie theaters to see a lot of the stuff that's coming out this year? Do you believe that people are going to be you know what, movie theaters? I know the general manager of the most famous theater in the world, which is Band's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. And he says the theater industry is right now top notch. They're following COVID protocols above and beyond.
See, unfortunately, I cannot say anything because right now my my province is under code red again because people do not know how to stay home. You guys have one job to do. You guys have one job to do. Stay home for 2 weeks. Make sure that COVID is eradicated. Okay? Stay the hell home. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. If you can't do that, don't go anywhere.
Right. And then, as Brian K. Morris says, never apologize for being awesome.
I think that we need to start realizing that we can't just believe the government and what's happening. We have to start looking at what's happening around us. And when your friends and family are starting to get sick, and some of them have worse symptoms than others, like, we really have to start saying, okay, you know what? I think I'll wear my mask and I'll do what I need to do, and I'm not going to go anywhere else. And I'm just going to do what needs to be done to try to make it the best we possibly can. Because we're not going to kick it if we don't start listening to medical professionals.
Right. I just really don't want the theaters to go away. It's a big part of who we are. It's a great escape. The experience cannot be, you cannot have the same experience at home. That's just my thought on it.
People are worried about what the economical damage this is going to cause. We could have had this licked a long time ago, but people's selfishness got in their way.
So let me ask you this:
when we read about Australia is the only people that have really handled it very, very well,
and New Zealand as well.
You know, they've figured out what to do and managed to make it happen.
Yeah. So, Willow, let me ask you this: if you know for a fact that the theater industry are following protocols, but even going like beyond the protocols that are given to them to make sure that the theaters are clean, and that they even have apps now that you can order your food and it can be ready for you. Would you feel comfortable going to a theater knowing that they're taking these precautions?
You know what? Hey, you know what? Wear gloves. That's awesome. I would like to see, but I mean, I understand that gloves aren't necessarily even more cleaner, but yeah, I mean, I'm all for like the mobile order apps, making it, you walk in, you have your stuff. There it is. But I've seen, I have friends who work in the theaters, and that place is not clean by any means. And the shit that happens in theaters is even more disgusting. I'm happy being at home watching movies, but I do miss going to a theater and watching it on the big screen. If we can guarantee that, you know, Jack and Sally aren't going to make out in the back, then I'm all fine with Danny. I'm fine with that.
Well, the head of NATO, and no, not the political NATO, the National Alliance of Theater Owners, has publicly come out to say that there has been no links traced back for COVID to any theaters in North America.
That's good. That's
so
good.
He has said theaters are ready to welcome people back.
It might actually be the cleanest theaters have been now.
Honestly, probably. If we can guarantee people, if we can make sure that people clean up after themselves instead of leaving their shit all over the place, maybe then we can, you know.
Well, John Campia had gone to the movie theaters, and he actually says that he felt safer at a movie theater than he does at a grocery store.
Okay.
Well, and as long as, see, if you're sanitizing everything and after an hour and a half of somebody being there, if you're sanitizing between every show, that is still better than what they do it at grocery stores every night. So,
Yeah.
you know, like you're having,
I mean, I find outdated stuff on this grocery store shelf.
I mean, 12 hours of exposure to things, if it can live on surfaces the way it does, then that's 12 hours of exposure at a grocery store versus an hour and a half of exposure at a movie theater. And if they're cleaning between, that's completely different too. Like, I hate to say it, but like at school, I am in a classroom with at least 120 kids all day long. And those kids sit in assigned seats, and there is no possible way that I could sanitize every single thing that they could possibly touch in the 5 minutes between classes and still watch the kids outside. Like, I'm supposed to be out in the hallway. So there's no way for me to do that. So, well, yes, there are cases that are happening at school. I don't think the transmission is happening at school. The quarantines are happening at school, but I don't think the transmission is happening at school because we are so ridiculous.
Public transit needs to improve on their cleanliness. And I'm saying that as a wife of a bus driver. Winnipeg, please improve on the cleanliness of our transit system because it's ridiculous. We cannot have homeless people living in our bus shelters, for one. People need to stop throwing their garbage all over the place on the buses. That is disgusting. You guys need to live a little bit better. And this is the reason why COVID went crazy the way it did, is because humans are fucking disgusting. Pardon my language, but I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the laziness. I'm tired of the lack of cleanliness in my city, and I'm tired of the fact that after 100 years, we're still dealing with people not knowing how to properly clean themselves. Sorry, rant done.
Well, welcome to another episode of Willow's Pillow Talk. No,
sorry.
That's okay. No, I understand. I mean, even before COVID, like when I would ride on a bus or whatever, I completely understand. But I've been on very clean buses too, so it's a hit and miss thing. But for today's show, I mean, we had fun. We talked about Kickstarters, which we're going to be doing every Saturday. I can't wait to find out what we talk about next Saturday because, like, there's so many Kickstarters out there. It's like I want them all, but I can't have them all. And like, there's so many TV shows coming out this year and movies. Like, so much form of entertainment medium to take in. So little time.
Yep. And if we're going to end up being home for one more year because of people's stupidity, at least we are able to be entertained.
I always wonder though, like, even with all the time that we were home, how much did we get done? Like, I found
nothing.
1,000 things to do other than what I should have done. Like, I should have cleaned the garage and I should have gone through all of the bins that are sitting in the garage and I should have done all of that. And I didn't do any of that.
No, but we started a podcast and became very popular.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they just watch us to see what we're talking about next.
Yeah. But speaking of that,
how many times will she drop the F-bomb in this episode?
Well, until next Saturday, when I don't know what the topic will be just yet, but we'll decide. This has been Reels and Heels. It's time to ring the bell. Oh, wait, what do we got here?
Remember, we are now on IMDb.
Oh, that's
You're
right.
saying this.
Please give us stars. Please rate our show.
Yes, leave us comments about the show.
Be nice.
Hey, but apparently even bad ones, at least people are noticing. But I think it's time to ring the bell. But until next week,